want to just talk really quickly about what I'm about to do. I'm about to do a slate in the uh, auditioning world, in the acting entertainment business. Is basically just saying your name. Usually they're asking your name, how tall you are, and where you're located, and what you are going to do. So if you're about to do a speech from Macbeth, or a speech from, as I'm about to do, a monologue from Julius Caesar, that's pretty much what Slate is. So my name is Brandon Foxworth, and I'm a proud Detroiter. And the monologue that I am going to be doing is from Julius Caesar, and I will be playing Brutus. All right, you ready? Our course will seem too bloody. Let us be sacrificers, but not butchers, Caius. Caesar must bleed for it. And gentle friends, let us kill him boldly, but not wrathfully. Let us carve him like a dish fit for the gods, and not hew him like a carcass fit for hounds. This shall make our purpose seem necessary and not envious. And for Mark Antony, think not of him, for he can do no more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's head is off. No, yeah.
Heyo, it's Sean T. Welcome to the Sean T Show. I'm here with
Brandon Foxworth. Hey, everybody.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm happy to have you.
Thank you for having me.
I'm really happy to have you here. First of all, just tell the people what you do.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Usually when I create bios, I say, my name is Brandon Foxworth, he, him pronouns, sometimes they, them as well. I'm starting to get into that nowadays, I am a minister, I am an actor, I'm a writer, I am a singer-songwriter, I am a DJ now.
Let's go.
And a theater educator.
Let's
freelance
go.
artist. Yeah.
I love that. I was okay. So just like blatantly the he him his pronouns using.
Yes.
So we are in Ipsy right now. If you don't know, now you know. I went to school in Ann Arbor. We do pronouns. We do pronouns like proficiently everywhere we go. And now that I'm out of it, like I'm out of like school and kind of just more like formulated spaces.
Yep.
I've dropped it.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I wanted to start these like, hi, I'm Shanti Kenyatta Campbell, first middle and last name.
Yes.
I use him his pronouns.
I remember on your first video, I don't know if that was your first video, but a recent video that I watched, you did say, hey, you have pronouns. And I was like, yeah.
Because it's like, obviously, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Like, everybody don't use traditional pronouns, but like my homie was like,
well, it surely will bring you into bigger audience, as well as, I believe the he, him, she, her, the usage and declaring of the pronouns is, even if you're like, oh, well, they don't really matter to me, it does matter to somebody.
Exactly.
So for me, it's so much of my life is, how can I not necessarily try to blend in, but like, these are my fellow humans.
Yeah.
I need and want to coexist with them. So how can I coexist in a way in which I'm seeing them? And it don't take nothing. We be around here saying, "Oh, I'll be doing this."
Yeah.
You can't say you go by he, him pronouns.
Exactly.
I think
it's easy for like people to be like black people are innately homophobic, and some people are. I won't say that they're not. But honestly, we're adapters. Like we respect people as people.
Yes.
Wherever we go, you respect me, I respect you. That's like, I feel like in general, that's how we feel. And there's some people who don't even know, like who weren't even put in that position. They're like, oh yeah, it's like
Yeah.
But like, let's be honest. If like so if you met a cool kid who like they went by they them pronouns or like some traditional pronouns, you would probably mess with them heavy.
Exactly. Yes, I agree.
Like, okay. So first, let's start with the Kickstarter. I know you want to talk about this.
Yes.
So let's start with the Kickstarter. Let people know what that is.
Okay. So everyone, this year I wrote, executive produced, and acted in a short film called "What Are We? Are We Going to Be? We Are," which is a short film about this couple who is having dinner in the midst of a trying time in their relationship. And secrets and secret motives test their bond on this night of their dinner. And we'll see if the couple makes it out better or makes it out otherwise. Yeah. And so we filmed everything. I and my fellow executive producer and co-star, Kyle Christensen, we both put our money into it, and we paid for our director Ryan Murtha, who is also the DP, who was also editing this as well. We have paid for our sound, like on the day of when they recorded the sound. And now we are in post-production. If you don't know what that means, after we're done filming this, he and his team is going to edit this video. He's going to check about the sound to make sure that the lights was hitting on his end on the computer. So that is post-production. Pre-production is, hey, what is the script? Like when we talked, hey, I said, hey, I wanna come on your show, cause that's the pre-production, figuring out what it is, what you're gonna do, what movie you're gonna do, what you're gonna talk about in the interview. And then production is filming it, what we're doing now. And then post-production is everything you do afterwards. When you watch a movie, you may think, oh yeah, like for example, you watch a movie and you see people dancing. People are not listening to me. Watch a movie or watch a TV show or watch something and there's music playing and people are dancing. They're not dancing to music. It has to be silent because you have to hear the actors that are having the scene in the club. Like for example, you watch a movie and there's somebody having dialogue and they're talking about something in a club and you see people dancing. They in post. They put all of the sound in there. That's what happens in post-production. So that's where we are now. We are color guarding, just making sure that the color in the film throughout, that the melanin looks good and that we're popping the way that we need to be, as well as the sound, just making sure that the sound is great so that when people listen, that there isn't little crackles or cop sirens going around, because that happened on the day of. As well as we have a composer, Kyle James, who is amazing. He's an amazing artist. I've known him since undergrad.
Shout out Kyle.
Yes, shout out Kyle. You're amazing. And so he graciously is going to lend his talent to compose our film. So we are running this Kickstarter so that we can pay our artists, so that we can pay the people, and so that we can get our film to the best possible point that it can be. And we're raising $5,000. By January 23rd, Kickstarter has an all or nothing type of deal where if we don't make that full $5,000 by the 23rd of January, it's basically forfeited. So right now, we have 32 more days to go on this day. Once this come out, it may be a little bit closer. But we are halfway of our goal, which God is good. I give God glory. You're going to hear me talk about God a lot in this interview. And so we need your help. So I'm going to send him the link and he'll be able to share it with you all. And we'll see a teaser trailer as well for it. But it is a beautiful film. I believe that it's going to touch a lot of people. It is a film about a queer couple, a couple who happens to be queer, who happens to be interracial. And these things really were sort of intentional and sort of not intentional. I wanted to create something that was so specific in the telling of the story that it would be universal and it would touch people. And I've shown it to straight people and queer people, and they all have, especially going for the straight folks. And I want to pause real quick. I did not do, because I just want this to be clear. I am not saying that I'm creating queer art to adhere to straight people.
Yeah.
No, like it's just
No.
right. It's just the fact that a straight person can watch this film and also feel seen because of how specific it is, which is kind of the point that I made in this specific movie. Is we go so much on, oh, he's this, she's that, and they must be different. But if you really watch, we're all human.
Yeah.
This is a couple who's dealing with couple things. Yes, they happen to be black and white. Yes, they happen to be queer. They happen to be two men. But that is not the whole basis of it all. Like, no characters in this movie is coming out of the closet. Right? We've seen that. You know,
exactly.
They just are. They're already out, because that's what people focus so much on with queer media and queer entertainment is, will they be coming out? Is someone going to give someone AIDS? Is someone going to steal a father from a family? Is someone going to get bullied by somebody and then fall in love with the bully? We've seen this so many times, and not saying that shouldn't be had, because there's a truth to stereotypes. And of course, in this film, you're going to see some things that you could say, oh, that's a stereotype.
Yeah.
Yes, stereotypes are true. That's the point. But when it is all focused on stereotypes, that's when you turn your head and you're like, for me, as a queer artist, I'm like, well, is everything that I do gonna be, he's coming out? Oh man, it's like, no, like we're human. There's so much more, just like with black people, there's so much more than we struggle. We gotta get over our oppressors. Yes, those stories deserve to be told, because that is very much the narrative in this white supremacist world. But that is not the end all be all. Black people deserve to have fun. Black people deserve to have other stories that is not centered around the difference or the space between whiteness or oppression. Like, we deserve to have. So I say all that to say this is a different type of film. And yeah, that's what the Kickstarter is.
All right, let's go. Let's go. I love that so much.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, so first of all, dope Kickstarter. I love that. I'm so proud of you, bro.
Thank
you. Like I said, I've seen your growth since forever. I remember, first of all, going over my Aunt Nuki house. This is my cousin. If y'all don't know, now you know.
We had to be a little cousin, but you know. So when he's like, since I've been knowing you, it's like since he's been born.
Yeah, real life. Real life.
Yes. But
so I remember going over it and like, I know y'all was up there, so like it's an honor to be like having this conversation with you right now, because like you guys were heroes, like as a young age. And can I ask how old you are?
I am 27.
27, beautiful. 27.
How old are you now?
I'm 22.
Oh my God, it's wild, man. That is wild. That is wild. Oh man, so we're on 5 years. When is your birthday?
April 5th, 2001.
Oh, okay, so you about to be, so we literally 5 years. Okay. Yes.
Exactly 5 years apart. So, and I remember like moving out here, I was like, I don't know, I felt a lot of sorrow just being away from family.
Ann Arbor, by the way.
Yeah, Ann Arbor, exactly, Ann Arbor. Just being away from family, but like, I don't know, Facebook, my savior, like really tapped me in. And I remember like seeing you come out and it being like, I'm like, dope shit. Dope shit. Yes, and you recently told me like you were a minister, and that's beautiful. I really want to know just beginnings.
Yes.
So you're from Detroit, like where?
Proud
Detroiter. Yeah. I love that. First, let's start with, you said you were the first to go to college. Let's talk about like high school life. You said you were a minister at 16. First of all, how did you become a minister? Yes,
indeed. Okay, so my mom was, she definitely took us to church when my siblings and I were young. But like in terms of us being so involved in the church, that didn't come until later, until I met my Nana, who my youngest three biological siblings, their grandmother, we have a different father, but they're half nothing.
Half nothing.
They're my full siblings.
Honestly.
But their biological grandmother is my Nana. I call her Nana. She's been in my life since I've been a kid. And when she came into our life, she's a woman of God, Eloise Rucker. Hey, Nana. But she's a woman of God. And when we met her, she got us into her church where we actually got involved. It was not religious, because we can talk about this too, because I don't say that I'm religious. I don't even really say that I'm Christian, but I am a follower of Christ. And we can talk about that. But religiously, in terms of we were always going to church and even going to Bible study, that's when we really started to be on it in church, when we met her.
Yeah.
And then from there, our church name is Greater New St. Paul. And now we're online because our church building actually burned down. So now we're doing Bible study things online, and we'll be looking for an actual physical space soon. But I remember around, what was it? It had to be around like 15 years old, where I've always been very observative. I've always been aware, even as a young kid, which I know you have as well, and that's where the soul tie comes.
Of course.
But I've always been very aware, and I would just observe grown-ups all the time. I would observe the wise all the time, the elders all the time. And let's just say I could understand, like when we went to our bishop's sermons, I could understand some things, and like I could understand what he was saying. But then I would look at the kids around, kids in church, if they ain't got children's Bible study or children's church, children's service, they're all running around. And this is me at 15. I'm seeing all my cousins and brothers and all the other kids in the church running around and on their phones and not paying attention. And I came to think like, oh yeah, well, they're not paying attention because they don't know what the bishop is saying.
Yeah.
Like they don't get it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, not even that I didn't think it was fair, but like in a way I didn't think it was fair that we're getting this message and that they don't understand it. Yeah. So we had a basement of our church, and my Bishop Early, who has now passed away since this time, rest in peace. Yes, indeed. I miss him so much. But we had a basement, and I said, Bishop, and he loved us, by the way. He loved my Nana. My Nana, like when my Nana brought us in, when my mom comes, we all come. So we brought a whole bunch of people into the church. And so our bishop loved us. And I just asked our bishop, I was like, can I take like the youth basically downstairs, and can I have our own type of service?
Let's drive.
Man.
To be like walking over at 15.
Yes.
Like, hey, let me do this. I need to do this.
Because I was just like, they're not getting it. And like so our church would have different things every Sunday, and every fifth Sunday, which is rare, but every fifth Sunday of the month, we would have youth day, where somebody who was in the youth committee would get up and do a sermon. And I would and that's actually how it really started. I did youth day and found out that I liked it. Yeah. And I was already like getting into theater around that time. And so I was like, well, yeah, like I like this. Okay, if I have a gift for it, because I would speak, and then the elders and adults would be like, he know what he talking. Yeah. Who is this kid? Yeah. Who is he? Like, who are you? And so I was just like, well, like now that I have, and that's a thing, and that's a lesson for the parents and people who mentor the youth. Tell them that they're good at something. And when you see that they're good at something, run with it. Continue to be like, hey, you're good at that.
Yeah.
You building and using tools, you're good. You're good at that. Oh, you can catch a football, you're good at that. It goes a long way, because when they told me I was good at something, I said, oh, okay, well, what else can I do? Yeah. How else can I get involved? So my bishop said, okay. He said, you can go downstairs and teach them a lesson. He said, 15 minutes into our service, y'all will go downstairs. 15 minutes before the service ends, come back up. He says, just to make sure that y'all aren't down there playing, because I'm 15, right? We are kids. Yeah. He said, just to make sure y'all not playing, when you come upstairs, not you, I want the other kids who, from ages, the same age as me on down to like young as 3 years old. He said, I want them to come upstairs and tell me what they learned.
Yeah.
You can't tell me what they learned because you're the one teaching it. I want them to tell me. And so I said, okay, challenge accepted. And I went on down there and I said, okay, this is my chance to really do something. You know what I'm saying? Like this is my chance to really not prove myself, but to accept a challenge that I want. Life throws you so many challenges that you don't want.
Yeah.
I said, well, thank God here's a challenge that I do want.
Exactly.
So I went down there with my iPad, downloaded a children's Bible study app, and I taught them. And that first time, they went upstairs. I was quiet. And I wasn't even nervous. I was like, I know I taught them.
Yeah.
God is my witness.
Exactly.
And so we went on upstairs, and he said, all right, tell me what y'all learned. And every single kid told them something different that they learned. And he was like, oh, yeah. He said, you need to be, from the sermons that you're giving on Youth Day to you running and successfully running this children's service, children's Bible study, he said, I'm going to make you a minister.
Beautiful.
So around the time that I became 16 is when he had finally ordained me. And that's why anytime somebody asks me, like, what are you? What do you do? I lead with ministry, because ministry is, I feel like, my everything. My acting is ministry.
Yeah.
My songwriting, singing, or writing, period. My playwriting, screenwriting, ministry. It is all a ministry to a spiritual service or a spiritual practice to me. And so I take ministry very serious. And I'm not always the minister that is in the churches.
Yeah.
I'm out here because look at how I look. And then look at the fact that I said that I'm queer. When people hear minister behind all of that, they go,
exactly. That was my question. Like, how was that at that time? I know you weren't out yet.
Yes, I wasn't. I wasn't out at the time. And it's interesting. There's something interesting about God, man. God is not human. God defies human logic. So, though I was closeted and definitely feeling the restrictions of that from life, my own community, the world, there's something about giving and being of service to God and God's children, which is all of us. It don't matter if you're 80 years old, you are God's child.
Exactly.
There's something about being of service to that. I don't know, man. It's otherworldly, and it's not mine. Like, I am the vessel, but I'm not taking credit for what God does.
Exactly.
Whatever that was speaking through me, that was God. And when I saw how it affected people, how children and adults and elders alike were like, you're making me think differently. I knew at that moment, with Jesus being my leader and this being this selfless being, that no matter how it may be difficult for me to be a minister and to be closeted and queer where I am, this ministry is bigger than even the things that I'm dealing with in life.
Yeah.
It is bigger than the injustices. People are getting helped and saved, and they're thinking differently and healing from something that I'm saying. Whatever I'm going through, and even to this day, I deal with things, but when God says, I need you to talk to this person, it's like, okay, I got to take whatever I was dealing with, but God gave me something, and I know that it is above me. Like, it's that selfless thing. Like, I really, it ain't no pride on me, man. Like, it's like, I take that very seriously when God wants me to help his children. And my biggest fear, one of my biggest fears, is that I lead people astray. And that I lead people farther from God. My only wish when I die on this earth, whenever God has that, is that whoever I attempted to help through God, that it actually helped, and that they got closer to him, because I'm forever indebted to God. So I take that very seriously. So, it was hard. And when I came out, it's interesting, man, because when I did come out, I remember there was someone who was the best friend of my Nana. Her name was Miss Marilyn, Katie. She, when I came out, and and I love my family, right? But
how old were you when you came out?
I was 19 when I came out, and man, it was tough. It was hard. It was hard.
Were you still at home?
I was
I know you went to college.
Yeah.
Were you still in college by then?
Yep. I was at Western Michigan. I was living in not the dorms at that time. I was in my first apartment with my roommates that I was, first time paying rent. But that was a tough time. But like, even in the midst of all of that, there was always this through line of like, I know I've affected people. People have literally told me, you affected me. So anytime I try to be like, you can't be this, you're gay. It's like, but like, I see how it's helping somebody.
Yeah.
So it must not be that bad.
Yeah.
I must not be that bad. And I remember Katie, like my family had their own ways of how they dealt with with me coming out, in which let's be real, like homophobia runs through the backbone of this world and of this country, and especially from white supremacy into black culture. So it's like, yes, I would be overly thrilled and surprisingly shocked that my family was like, oh, you're gay, cool. But like, that's not, let's be honest, that's not always the reality.
Yes.
You know, so like, though they were there and I kind of felt alone at that time. I mean, I had my friends who, that's where, chosen family comes in. Mm-hmm. They had me when family didn't necessarily know how to be there for me at that time. But I remember Katie, the first time I went back to church after coming out, I'm going in and everybody had already gone out and she asked me to stay out for a minute.
How long was it till you like had been there last? Like, how long was that time frame? Or was it like fresh? Like, were they like, oh yes? Oh,
it was fresh. Well, especially with the family. Like after I came out, it was probably like a month and change, because I came out twice basically. I came out on July 30th, and then I came out on November 6th. That's November 6th is when I felt like I took full advantage. I came out as bi first, which most queer people, that is the path. You come out as bi, it's like, okay, that's safe. But when I was like, no, this is my life.
Yeah.
I'm gay. I know what I am. November 6th is when I did that. And so a month after that, of course, we're going home for Christmas, going home for, the holidays. Mm-hmm. That was when I went back to church, and she paused me and she was like, you can't quit.
I'm fighting for my life.
Why do you say that?
I'm fighting for my life with these batteries.
Oh yeah, it happens.
Please continue. This is you're talking about the going back into it. Like
yes,
church.
Going back into church. After I came out, the 2 times that I came out, and the second time being the one that I took full ownership, and like I felt like it was me on purpose stepping into it, not coming out as bi out of fear, but being like, no, this is who I am. Mm-hmm. When I went back to church, that my basically, I guess, a great auntie of sorts, was best friends with my nana, Miss Katie. She said to me, she pulled me aside. Everybody was going into church. She pulled me aside, and I'm worried, right? Because I'm like,
that heart was just going.
Man, I'm like, okay. And I don't talk about church, but I'm like, what the hell is this about? I'm like, okay, we gonna see what people gonna say, how people go. But she pulled me aside, and for her to do this and to be of an older generation and have done this, but she also knew the gift that God gave me.
Yes.
And I remember I was walking in, she pulled me and she said, don't you let anybody in this space make you feel that you are not exactly as God created you. You are exactly as God created you. And what you are and who you are, God made you that for a reason, and that is what He will use to bless you.
Yes.
There's a saying, I don't think it's in the Bible, but it goes as little something like this: God don't bless you for who you pretend to be, but for who you are.
Yes.
For who you are. And on this journey now getting here, I've actually realized that when I did come out, the fact that we even have to come out, like why? But like I get it, life, America, here we are, right? But like the more that when I came out and I started to, is that the battery again? Yeah. Just like the Nintendo Nintendo 64. Yeah.
We playing Russian roulette right now.
Not right. Russian roulette. Love it.
Ain't no other way to be. Ain't no other way to be. You better be
Yeah.
We back at it.
But
as you were saying, you're exactly who you are. You're
yes,
exactly where you are.
Yes, and God blesses you for who you are. And as I've continued to, since coming out, my acting has gotten better because to act is to be truthful. You don't act to act, though it is playing pretend. In acting school, they're like, if we see you acting, it's a job. Like, no, like people want to see truth because that is the magic of acting, is that when somebody is playing pretend but really believing it in truthful circumstances, then you kind of morph and you're like, oh, I'm feeling something. I believe you because humans, truth.
That's and we bond off that off like acting. I'm telling you, people tell me I have like such like a genuineness in acting that no one else has, and like I'm just acting.
I like
but
this.
you have to feel the words. You have to feel like, or else like, what are you doing?
That's right. And I'm telling you, it's the living in your full. And what do we ever reach full authenticity? Who knows, right?
Exactly.
That is a lifelong journey.
Exactly, it's a lifelong
journey. And it's like day by day.
Lifelong journey.
But
people say be yourself, but like nobody knows how hard being yourself
is.
It's hard
because being yourself requires you to now turn within. That's why I say I believe acting is the hardest job out there for this reason. Yes, acting is going on stage playing pretend. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But even a soldier who is going to war, a soldier don't go to war being like, what was I feeling today? Let me put that into the war. Like, no. Or a doctor going to the surgery or the hospital or a therapist who's a doctor. They don't go to these places with their life. They have to put their life behind them and be like, this is where I am. An actor, you can't hide. You have to come fully as you are. That character needs all of you, not some of you, not just the pretty parts of you, not just the parts that it needs all of you. And if you're not living in that authenticity, people will tell, and people sort of get disconnected from you because they're like, there's just something. Have you ever watched something and you're like, I'm just not connecting with that actor. I'm just not connecting with that performance. Well, I believe that comes from whatever is going on in their life and not fully lending themselves. So as an actor, not only am I doing all the other crazy things that actors have to do, which I love to do it, but it also requires you to bring all of you. But if you're not living in your truth,
what are you doing?
Or even beginning the process to live in your truth, because I think that also stems from what we were talking about earlier, just like it is a process, and it is like a step-by-step thing of how you go on this journey of life to live as you are. And when you do that, it means that you got to turn in. It means that you got to, on purpose, go, who am I? What am I? Where am I? Where was I? Where do I want to be? And doing that work it can be very, very humbling. It can be very challenging. There are times that it can be a thrill. And there are times where you're like, oh, this is, wow, like, this is hard.
Yeah.
But you realize that's what this world is trying to make me into, something I'm not. The world tells you, the world tells you, who you are is not enough. Yeah. No, you need to be more masculine. You need to be more feminine. You don't smile as much. You need to smile more. You need to do this. You need to do that. Instead of asking you, who are you?
Yeah.
Even your children. You may think, oh, I'm not about to ask my 5-year-old. Ask your 5-year-old, who are you? Yeah. Yeah, they may say, I don't know, but ask them things. Like, do you know what your child's favorite candy is? Do you know what their favorite song is? What their favorite color is? We just go so much about being like, oh, let me try to be what my mom needs me to be what my children need me to be what someone else needs me to be. But it's like being yourself. You must be yourself, because playing pretend and playing a character in real life, I do that enough on stage.
Exactly. So
doing that in life and living most of my life in the closet straight, I ain't ever been straight. I thought like women were attractive. I've had crushes on women before, but like straight, no. But like it gets tiring, and there's such a freedom that I had after I came out and after I continued to go on this journey of who am I? And I was just going to say, why also I believe it's hard to be yourself on purpose. That means that if I'm myself and I walk into a room full of people who don't want to be themselves,
yeah,
who haven't done the work, who get intimidated by someone who is fully living in themselves because they don't like who they are,
yeah,
it creates issues. It creates problems. Even with like family who were used to me as they saw me. Like, think about it as family being like, oh, you're going to always be our little this. You're going to always be our little cousin. It's like, yeah, but like, I'm not him right now. I'm
me.
I'm me. I'm still your little cousin, but I'm not a little cousin. Yeah. I'm me.
I've had years. I have experience.
Yes.
I know what I do. And like, you become yourself every second. I wanna ask, so first of all, you talk about going to college, being the first to go to college.
Yes.
How was that experience? Like, was it like, what did you know you were going to go to college? Like, even in high school, like, was that like an aspiration of yours?
Well, I have to toast that up to my father, who also has passed. He passed in 2015. Love you, Pops. But yes, rest in peace. I love that man. I look just like him, spitting image. But he was on my brothers and I, and just really like, you're going to college.
Yeah.
Because he didn't get a chance to finish high school. My mom finished high school and she did some college, but she never got a chance to finish. Mm-hmm. So with me, they were like, you're going.
Yeah.
I don't, whatever it is that you're going to do. At first I wanted me to play football and say, oh. And I did. I was Pal League. But for me, I was like, football. Look, if you are a football player, football lover, all love to you. And like, for real. Like, there were some things in football that really taught me how to like, not even be a man, but be a better human. There's something about whether you win or lose a game, shaking the other person's hand and just saying good game anyway. Like, it does teach you things, you know? 100%. But like, for me at that time, I was like, this is just something to get my anger out. I can do that on stage.
Yeah.
I can get my emotions out on stage. Can I do that? But anyway, my dad was like, you are going to college. And so that was already in my mind as something that I wanted to do, because then I'm going to go into this journey. There was I got to get out of Detroit. I love my city.
Love the city.
But at that time, I didn't really feel like there were outlets or opportunities in Detroit that I knew of at that time that could get me to the places that I saw myself going. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, well, I want to, like, it's that get out of the hood mentality. Like, I need to get out and like see what that world is.
Yeah.
You know, but also like, as I got into theater at Cass Tech, where I went to high school, as I got into theater there, our high school director, Marilyn McCormick, who has since then retired, but she's amazing. She still does work there. She sent people to college. She would have people audition for college, and there was always alumni from the high school that either went to college or was on their way to it that would come back and tell us, hey, this is what I'm experiencing, and that excited us because you got these kids, black and brown kids, who just want to be something, you know, and like especially if you're in theater. If you're in theater, you're probably an outcast.
Exactly.
Right? Like you're probably the black sheep.
Theater.
And you're like, okay, so like you want to be something. And what better way to continue that journey by going to a college or going to a place where you can really tap into what you love and also get the experience to have different experiences. So I'll say that's kind of like in terms of like, did I know I was going to go? That's like kind of where that came from with my dad being like, you're going, and me also being like, yeah, I am going because I'm going somewhere.
Yeah.
And I see,
you were doing acting in high school.
Yep.
You were doing acting in high school. So even when you went to college, like maybe it was, they said it was football, but did you know like, yeah, I'm gonna be an actor?
Oh yeah. Well, I was doing football in like middle school to like my first year of high school. But like I started theater my junior year of high school. The first 2 years of high school, I really which people probably won't believe this now, but like I was very shy. Like every time we had lunchtime during 9th and 10th grade, I didn't eat in the lunchroom. I went up to the computer lab, I took my lunch upstairs, and I wrote books. I wrote stories because I've been writing since I was 7 years old. I've been writing before acting, before ministry, before any of that. Wow. Writing was like my first love, and why that is when we were and you remember the King homes, that's where we used to live. And I love the King homes, I love it. But the King homes wasn't always the safest place for children, for people. And
Can
so,
you explain the King homes to the people?
Yes, the Martin Luther King homes is this apartment like projects downtown Detroit that I lived in pretty much since I was like either a year or some change old or in my earlier years till about my junior year of high school. Like I was living there that entire time, and like it wasn't always the safest place. So my mom, being the protector, she had me and my brothers, which you know, we was in the house. And so being in the house and not always, playing outside or getting that experience necessarily, what did I have? I had my characters that I could write stories with. So those are my best friends. So that's how the writing came. And so, and that just kind of flooded through. So I say that to say 9th and 10th grade was writing, because that was when I got scared or when I was uncomfortable, that was my comfort. That was where I could find myself. And then getting into junior year of high school and senior year, that's when theater started. And then it's like, once I was there, the first time I was in the Black Box, which now it's called the Maryland McCormick Black Box. First time I got in there, it was the first time in life, that I was like, this is where I belong. This is it. And when you're a child and you're closeted, and you're also the oldest, so there was that as well. I'm the oldest of 9 kids. So it's like there's that mentality of like my mom and my dad were like, you're a leader. Your brothers are looking up to you. Now I have sisters. Your brothers and sisters are looking up to you. You gotta go. You gotta be the one that keeps your head on straight. And because look, the family's looking to you. And so that also pushed me to be like, oh yeah, I gotta go to college and I gotta go hard. But yeah, so got into the Black Box, and I just felt like that was the place that I needed to be. And when you feel that, especially having a life and the internal conflict that I had, when you find a place that you belong, you don't want to leave. I said, I want this the rest of my life. And still to this day, no matter, people are people, you're going to have some bad seeds, bad eggs, what have you, bad experiences, or not so good, or not so pleasant. But theater still to this day is the safest place, even safer than church for me. Theater is my church in a sort of sense at times, because it is a place that I can express myself. So once I was in the theater, I'm in a place that I feel like I belong. People are literally showing me examples with alumni coming back that you can make it out. You can go to college. You can do this thing.
Exactly.
It made me go, okay, I know I need to go. I'm going to go. And then I got accepted into Western Michigan.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Can I ask, first big production that you put on, like the character you were? How'd you get about it?
Real quick, before we go there, I also just want to say, going on the topic of being the first, because I know I got some first people watching me. That shit was hard. Because family didn't understand.
Yeah.
They didn't understand. My mom loved my damn mom. When she went to college, she was going online, which, it's, as we know, during these COVID days and these COVID times, it ain't like that so easy as well, right?
Of course.
But like being the first one to be out like that, being the first one to be in a space where I'm in a predominantly white institution. That means mostly white people go to this school.
Yeah.
I had never experienced that before. So there was a lot of firsts. Being the first, there were a lot of firsts that I experienced that I could not go back to family and say, how did you sign up for classes?
Yeah.
They don't know.
Exactly. You were the first.
How did you audition for shows? I was the first actor. So like there wasn't, and so that was also hard because then family also didn't understand. They're like, oh, you're up there, but like, no, like I'm trying to, yes, college is fun. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. Getting out the house for the first time, being able to come back to your dorm or what have you at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock, it is a great time. But there's also that loneliness. But being a leader and being someone at the top, and I'm not saying that I'm above anybody else, but I'm above who I was in the past.
Exactly.
It's lonely up there. It is lonely at the top. It's lonely being the first. It's lonely being a leader, and that can be very discouraging. So I just want to say, going off of that previous question, that also works itself into the being the first to go to college. There's such a, you're carrying the baton. There's such pressure on you to like, to finish and to
Detroit
do
going
it.
to Western.
Yes.
Like I don't know if people in Detroit know, like Detroit is, it's enough city.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
it's enough city. People, a lot of people like are like, why would I ever go anywhere else? Like I got everything here.
Yep.
So being like, all right, I'm gonna go to not Wayne, but Western, which is so far away.
Yep.
And that's like honestly, people say Ipsy's a far away.
Yeah.
People say Ipsy is a far away.
Yeah.
I tell people to come to Ipsy, they're like, oh, that's
Which is like 30, 40 minutes away
Exactly.
from Detroit. But Kalamazoo's like 2 hours and some change.
exactly. But it's it's out.
Yep.
So like being that far away from home, and like, did you ever call back? And like when you call back, what were those conversations like?
Well, I tell you the truth. Yes, I miss my family, right? I miss my family, and I definitely like missed that comfortability of always having them around, and like the different rituals and things that we had in the house of what we did with our mom all the time.
Yes.
And the family. But like, I'll tell you the truth, I was happy to be out. I honestly wanted to be out of the state.
Yeah.
And when God said, you're going to Kalamazoo, Michigan, I was like, Michigan? I'm still in Michigan? Because my mentality at that time, though I love my city, was there's got to be something else. I gotta get out. I gotta, right? And now I can look back and be like, oh, Kalamazoo was far enough at that time and different enough that I still got a different experience. But like, yeah, I miss family, but I was enjoying myself out there.
Yeah.
After all that hard work, and like, once I got into theater, again, like I said, my mom and my dad wanted me to play football at first. And my grades were not the best at that time. So when I was getting into theater and they weren't really with that, they were like, all right, well then you better bring these grades up. Well, I was like at a 2.0, 2.5. And babies, if you got a 2.0, 2.5, I'm still proud of you. Get them grades up. But like when I got into theater and I got to choose something that I wanted, when I tell you them grades popped up, on a roll all the time. Because I got to do what I love. I got to, like, it's mine. And so that just revved up this heat under me where I was like, I want to go. I want to go for it. I want to experience those things that being a Detroit kid that, these 313 walls, these 248 walls had me in. I want to experience something. So when I was out there, I was enjoying my time. I definitely missed it. And it was hard to communicate with them because they didn't understand. They could try to relate, but they don't really know. And I've had family now be like, as we're sending more kids to college, Brandon, I didn't know you were going through all of that. And it's like, yeah, but hey, heavy is the head that wears the crown. To whom much is given, much is required. But But yeah, so I just wanted to say that about being the first. Like, it is rewarding. Most times it's rewarding after you finished it, but it's hard. Yeah. And I just want to like talk to the people who are the first, who are out there, who may feel like my family don't see me. I see you. Yeah. God always sees you, but like we see you and I see you, and like I know how hard it can be. So I just have to say that because it is a challenge. But there's something about when your younger cousins come to graduation and come to these graduation parties, and you get to see like, oh, all of it was worth it. Because most times all you need is representation. You just need to see that it's possible. Somebody that lived in the same area code I lived in, that is in the same bloodline, same family that I am in, made it. Making it, meaning they got out. They're living. Yes. That makes it all worth the while. And that goes back to the ministry. It is for God. Because yes, it was tough in that instance, but at the same time, my cousins, my family, they're getting blessed. Aunties, older family members are like, maybe I should go back to college. Yeah. It makes it. Yes, it was still hard. I'm healing from things, but it makes everything worth it. You know. Yeah. I forgot the second question that you said after that.
It's okay.
Just had to say that.
It's okay. I was just asking, like, college level, like collegiate theater. Mm-hmm. How was that for you? Like, what made you? Like, what was your first show? Specifically,
yes, first show. Well, let me actually go back to high school first, because our high school director, MC, love you, Sugar. I call it Sugar. My first show that I did, and we high schoolers, she pushed the envelope, but she trained some beasts of humans and actors. My first show I did at 16 years old, right around the time that I got ordained, was Ruined by Lynn Knowledge. Now, some theater person just gasped, and I'll tell you why.
Lynn Knowledge, yeah.
Ruined by Lynn Knowledge is about the genocide in the Congo of the women in the Congo who, trigger warning, the ruining is when they take a machete and ruin the reproductive system, internal of a woman. Yeah. And it was about this sort of whorehouse called Mama Nadi's, with Mama Nadi being the main character, who is the madam, basically, I guess you could say. And the corruption between the government and what these women go through, and how these women are strong and they are soldiers. And I know a lot of people would say, well, that's a lot for 16, 15, 14, 17-year-olds. And like, yeah, but at the same time, we had a mighty leader. Yes. And I got to start here because this is what has changed everything. God is so good. MC, Marilyn McCormick, she said, she like worked into us because, you know, of course, high school students are like, oh, we get to be whores? Like, we get to be in a whorehouse, we get to be women, oh my God. And the guys are like, oh, yeah, because like the girls would give lap dances, and it's a whorehouse, right? Yeah. And these are high school students, so it was like, what is something? They're like, oh my God. But on the first day, she showed us a video of women in the Congo who have been ruined, who are soldiers, who talked about what they went through. And to be high school students watching them, it made everything like, this will never else be about fame. It is about paying homage.
Yes, telling a story.
Telling a story and telling their story. Telling a story to people who don't get their story told, who was not in the main media. You know, like, that's what she worked into us. This is a social, we do theater for social change. We do theater to speak to people. And in that show, I played someone called Jerome Kisambe, who was the leader of the rebel soldiers. And of that, in that essence of folks like those rebel soldiers and Jerome Kisambe, they believed that raping women and children would cure them of their AIDS, and that they would get powers from this. So, to be 16, my first role I ever played, to be this rebel soldier, where I did the research of what these men did, because that's also what she taught us. Even though these are characters doing vile things and you could even say vile characters. She taught us that these are humans.
Yeah.
They something happened for them to get here. So when I'm playing a character like that, Brandon can hold him accountable, but I can't judge him because I have to play him. I have to figure out why he does this, why he thinks that's okay, why he thinks that is what he needs to do. And so that's also something of like growing empathy even for cruel people, and not in a way to be like, yeah, we agree with them, but rather to understand humanity even more. And so, and so it's like, that was the first show. And that, when I did that role, and it definitely was, it was a time, because going to that place, I stayed in that mindset of the character like 6 weeks after we were done. Like it was my first one, so it took time for me to learn, and I really didn't even learn that until grad school was when I learned how to let a character go.
Yeah.
I always thought it was, good to keep a character like Leonardo DiCaprio. Like I'm method, so like I'm staying in the character. But like no, acting is a job. It's harder to take it off because your body doesn't know the difference. If you're crying or you're doing a sad scene, your body's like, we're sad, we're depressed. Yeah. But it has to be you. You have to find a way to get out of that. So that being my first show and having to learn how to get out of the character and like knowing, oh, I'm not acting just to be famous or to be seen. Of course we act to be seen. Yes. We're actors. Like yes. But it is more so about telling those people stories. Letting someone in that audience feel seen. That is much more important than anything else. And that being the first major production or production period that I did led me into everything else, getting into college where, what was the first? I guess the first big role in undergrad for the first main stage I was in was Charlotte's Web. I played I played Avery Arable, Fern's older brother.
Let's go.
Who was a little troublemaker, and I was a 6'11" Which, I mean, we know about that line.
I almost played a Willy Wonka. I almost played a what the orange dude?
No, the Oompa Loompa.
Oompa Loompa. I was an Oompa Loompa.
You what?
I was an audition away from being an Oompa Loompa. I was like, that's a role that you knew you was gonna get. And I was like, I'm crew.
I'm crew. Oh well.
I'm crew. I did makeup crew for that show.
but man, those shows, especially even Charlotte's Web at that time, even getting even deeper into those characters, even into a. I
hate this so much. I do apologize.
No, do not apologize, brother. You are talking to a fellow artist. I know how it be. Trust me.
This is what we're doing. This is reality.
Yep. Yep.
This is what we're doing right now. That's crazy. Look, be quiet. I came at a perfect time. Yeah. You just restarted it? Yeah. Alright, let's get it.
Charlotte's Web. Well,
Charlotte's Web. Yeah. Well, really, I just really want to know about, like, first of all, the growth of acting. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, going from now at this point, you're going from collegiate acting to professional acting. That's a career. Yes, that's not like for fun. Like I know I know it was never for fun, but we love to do this.
Because you read my mind. I was literally about to say this has never like people who are like, oh, acting's a hobby. Acting has always been a life purpose. Yes. Like that is what I do. Yes. Acting has always been that. Always.
Yeah.
Acting is work.
Yes, it is. Come on.
You wildin', bro. You in the middle. You chose that spot. You chose that spot. You hop to the middle. Hold on, brother. You go over there. Go.
There we are. All right, all right.
Okay. So going from collegiate acting to professional acting,
Yes.
how was that transition? What did it mean for you? I think, as you say, like acting, it's a passion, but at the same time, it's like work is work.
Yes.
You know, how was that a big risk for you, or was it easy?
Easy is interesting because is anything easy, right?
Exactly.
Like everything, even the things that you love, you got to work for. You
Exactly.
are going to risk something that is going to require some type of sacrifice,
Mhm.
you know. But I'll say this. Going back just from when we were talking about Ruin, that was the first play I've ever done,
Yeah.
which was it was tough. It was
You know what
about the
ruining
genocide.
is?
You know what that is?
Yeah, I know.
It's about the
So-
genocide of African women in the Congo.
Show them the front of the mic. Oh, bet. So here. So this is the front.
Yeah.
I'm the editor, so I know like
I love.
all the stuff
Please.
that make me like,
Please tell me.
You know.
Yes.
Right
So that's the front. So
Talk right there.
Talk right there. Okay. Cool.
You talking to this part? It's my sound funny.
Oh, very good. Very good. Okay. Yes. So
Ruin.
yes, Ruin. Ruined is the first play that I did at 16 years old, and I played a rebel soldier who, in this play, it took place in a whorehouse, and it's Ruined is about the genocide of the Congo women in the Congo. And we did this as high schoolers. And so our director, Marilyn McCormick, who has since then retired, she just implemented into our brains and into our spirits, acting is not to be seen. It is not for you to be famous. You have a responsibility to tell these stories. God gave you this gift, not for you to look some type of way, but rather these women don't get their stories told. These men don't get their stories told. This is what this play is for, this vessel. And so and around that time was when I became a minister. So everything was deep at that point. So that took me into, one, not always feeling like I fit in anywhere, but knowing that I fit in this place. As I said, I'm like, I'm going to stay in this until I can't anymore for forever. Like, and I had always known that like theater or movies or directing was going to be the thing. Like, since I was young, I was always like, yeah, that's it. And one of the biggest reasons, and I kid you not, one of the biggest reasons why I didn't act or didn't want to act at first, I was bullied. You know, come on, hey, let's be real about this. Yeah, you know, bullied for being, and for the longest of time, I was like, I'm serious. I said, I don't want to be an actor because actors are pretty. I'd rather be behind the scenes. And I feel differently now. I know I'm fine, but and to know that it doesn't have anything to do with that. If that is your passion, it don't matter how you look. That's your passion. But exactly. I just say all that to say, when I eventually got like, I've always known that this was what I was going to do, and I always wanted to act. But from the things that I went through in life, I didn't think that it was for me. But just of that question, I always knew that was what I was going to do. Like that has to be it. I saw nothing else. At some points, I wanted to work in a hospital just because I liked helping people. But I look at that now.
Yeah.
You think I'm about to go to college for that? And look, my nurses, my doctors, thank you. But no.
Somebody got to do it.
No, I don't want to learn all them terms, all them words. I'm good. I can act like a doctor, but I'm not. Nah. You know, so with that always being something that I knew I would go into, then getting into my ministerhood, getting into theater being this way that we get to be a vessel not only for the characters, but also for God to speak through. And knowing that this is about social change, it just made everything concrete of like, this is why I'm here. Not only do I feel like I fit in this place, I'm good at it. My parents, I was saying before, my parents didn't want me to act at first. Then they saw me act.
Undeniable.
And look, I'm humble and confident. Man, once my dad and mom saw me act, they were like, "Oh wait, nah, he's good."
Yeah.
He like once I started to see what acting could do, even to my family and to the people who saw plays, and also to know that we're doing it for social change, and this is something that I get to give back. The career point of it was just like, okay, well, what? Let me follow the breadcrumbs. Where do I need to go next to get to where I need to get?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's really how it came about. From okay, then I need more training. Let me go to undergrad. Went to undergrad, okay, and in undergrad you're around other people who are going after this same career. So that's only going to empower you to just keep on doing it. You know, and also like looking up to the actors of that time, looking up to the Viola Davises and the Taraji P. Hensons and Idris Elba and Denzel Washington and John Goodman, Laurie Metcalf, Meryl Streep. Anytime I listened to I would watch interviews of acting for fun.
Wow.
Just like eating dinner, would watch because I was like, that's it. I see it.
Yeah.
And it's sort of that thing where it's like when you see that, not that many people get to that place, right? Where they do what they love. So I know that I'm very privileged and blessed to be in this position. And that is why I share this story so that someone else who's watching can go, I know I've been saying that I was going to wait to the perfect moment to go to school for that or to take that workshop or to do that thing, but I'm just going to go do it because that's what I feel like is for me. Like I've always felt like it was for me. So it wasn't even about, oh, well, like of course, like people told me like acting's hard. People were like, 1% of actors like really make enough to be able to have health care and all these things. People would tell me all these things, and I didn't give a damn. I said, I'm acting. It's hard. I said, I don't care. And that's also when you're going after something like that, you get to show yourself who you are. I was able to see myself and be like, oh, this is something I really want. Like I'm hearing people talk about how hard it is, and I don't care.
Yes.
I'm going to go for it. You know?
Do you believe the existence of a plan B? Would you suggest people who have a passion to have a plan B, or is it the opposite?
I say do what you feel you need. I will say this: people talk a lot about like, well, what's like how do you make money? Because it is true. Like with the auditioning all the time, until you get really deep into the industry, or you just get very, very lucky off of something, you do need to have other things that you're doing to, pay the bills and whatnot. And people can have whatever feelings that they have about this, but I'd like to say this. Anytime somebody asks me about a plan B, I looked at them like they was crazy. Because you don't ask a doctor, do you have a plan B?
Yeah.
You don't ask a lawyer. And I think my job is just as fucking important. And
Honestly.
if you don't think that, when the pandemic happened and it seemed like all hope was lost, what did we do? We watched TV. We watched movies. We listened to music. But the government want to cut funding on art, saying that it's not important, when it is the very thing that people turn to when all hope seemed lost. You turn to entertainment. So it's like, I know how important my job is. And so no matter what, again, there was that drive in me, and that's where God comes. That's where the faith comes, where I'm like, there is no plan B. I know I can do other things. I know I can write, and I know that with these degrees that I have that I can be able to teach, but it was always like, no, acting, like there is no plan B. But now that I'm in the industry, I feel not even differently, but even more deeper because
movie on Hulu. We gonna drop that.
Yes, I'm on Hulu. Moving on. Will yes. But like,
nigga, you got a family member that's fucking famous. You ain't saying shit. Green screens and shit.
I'm making my way up. I'm making my way up.
We gotta get out the mud.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
Y'all see this shit? You be overthinking shit. See, sometimes you need a third motherfucker in there just to overview shit. Because some people overthink their life. Like, damn, nigga, you got a cousin that's fucking famous.
But you know, there's a journey, and I've been gone a lot. Because I thank God that I'm working. So
It's
you
that
know,
rich cousin that he don't be fucking
rich. Well, look, I am rich in spirit, and when the riches in the spirit come to the physical, yes, but still working on that, brother.
Still working.
Yeah.
It's coming though. No, it's coming.
Yeah,
No, it's coming.
but yeah. What was the question? Hold on, I'm trying to remember.
Okay, I get you. So, was it difficult or was it? I know nothing's easy, but what was that? What was that transition looking
Getting
like?
into
Going
the professional world?
going into professional.
Yeah, just I think from everything that I just said, it's been following the breadcrumbs. I knew that this was something that I wanted. I knew that this was something that God had me on this earth to do. So it was always about how do I get to the next thing that would get me to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
When I was an undergrad, I was like, okay, I could work in undergrad, and I had auditions, like work professionally, but also I was like, no, I feel like I need more training. So I'm going to go get my master's. Okay. And so I went to grad school. Because also,
you got your master's?
Yes, indeed.
In acting?
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
That's
to God be the
beautiful.
glory. I got it from UC Irvine.
That's
Yep,
beautiful.
University of California,
Let me ask
Irvine.
this. We think about this. Do you think you need the degrees and shit like that? Because he said even on his side, he going to school for the Pro Tours and stuff like that. Something like he wanted to get like the school side of it.
Yep.
You think you need the school side? I ain't got the school side of it.
I do. Well, I'll say this: do you need it to be successful in this career field? No. Do you need training? Yes. That don't got to be school, right? Training can be what we're doing now, making sure that we are. And I wouldn't even count this as practice. This is real, right? But it is you can get the training from the doing.
Yes.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I love that better. You watch Lil Baby? You know Lil Baby, right?
Yeah.
Boom. So Lil Baby, he did he like the best rapper to me because I feel like not the best rapper like that,
but one of the best. Yeah.
Because it was like he did the songs, but then you know how some rappers that do 210 songs tonight, 20 songs tonight, and then boom, that keep him in the vault and be like, oh, I gotta wait for the. He just did 20 songs. He came out of prison, did 20 songs. All right, let's drop that. He's like, boom. All right, oh yeah, let's drop that. All right, cool. And he in the studio every day doing 10. All right, let's drop that. Oh yeah, come on. What we doing this with? Feature? Yeah. Pay me. Yeah. All right, boom. And he just figuring it out. But everything he doing, he was dropping. I feel like that's way better. Like even the mess ups on here, y'all said the audio and everything. Boom, we keeping it. Boom, we shot. Dang, we messed up that. Okay. Yep. Hey, let's shoot again. Boom. It's like we in the game though with it.
Yep.
I like how we in the game and doing it. I don't like, oh, let's go over here. Let's just practice. Nah, let's go in the game. All right.
Well, you know, brother, different strokes, right?
I like that story. I like
because like some people, that's how, and that's the thing about art and about what we do is that it's different for everybody. You do got some people, like I would say for me, if I had just graduated from high school and went out into the business, there are things that training gave me in terms of the knowledge of what happens on a set, the knowledge of what the stage lingo is, what is on stage, what is off stage, what is sitting in the wings, what is center stage. There, you know what I'm saying?
When the big lights hit you, was you like a deer in headlights, or did the practice prepare you for it? Because you know some people, they go out of college, they get out of college as a lawyer, they think boom, they do all the practice and behind the scenes, and then they go up to the stage and be like, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know shit.
Well, there's
Did you ever have that?
Well, there's always nerves that come, but that's the thing about performers and why it takes a different breed. Because I believe performers in their own right are extroverted introverts. Like there is a shyness and there is a oh my gosh, but it's also like that's why rehearsal is there. Rehearsal is there so that you don't just go out there and it's like oh my gosh, right? It don't stop the fact that when you perform, you have to be in that moment and you're in front of all these people, but the practicing does allow the performance to be what it is, right? So like it is in that practice that you get to go out there and be like, okay, I don't feel like I'm just left out here because I've been practicing this, you know?
I get you.
Yeah. But yeah.
So let's talk about this movie.
Yes.
This movie, what is the movie's name? The production, how did you even get on the roster to be making this movie? How did making the movie was for you?
We're talking about the movie that I made.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you say the title?
This nigga made a movie too?
I made a short film this year. I'm raising a Kickstarter for it right now.
Man, you lacking.
Brother.
No! No. But look, there is a time for everything, right?
God willing,
There
exactly.
is a time for everything. This time needed to happen right now, right? Because usually I'm in LA. From God and wherever things are right now, I happen to be here right now.
God dang it, bro.
Yeah, but look, so now we can shift from the past, right? And now we here in the present, and we know going forward in the future. I got y'all got me. Whatever we need going forward, that's what we got.
I'm gonna call you when I go to LA again.
You better.
Yeah, but so
Yeah. And look, if you need connects or like, oh, well, I want to work with, and that's also what I believe. And I'm gonna get to your question. Please remember it so I can.
problem.
But like that. Oh, it's about the movie, but. That's also what theater training gave me, and being in school is it gave me connections. That's also another reason why I wanted to go. Again, not that you can't get connections from getting out here and doing it and getting it. There's been many folks who have become successful and had successful careers from getting out there. But for me, first off, being in high school, I was like, well, I like this. I want to learn more about it. I want to be like Viola Davis and Meryl Streep, who went to Juilliard and went to Yale and know this. Like, they classically trained. How cool is that shit to be from Detroit and to be a classically trained? I know Shakespeare, Brecht, all of that. All of that. So when I come to a set, when I come to a stage, to an audition, I'm not coming with nothing. I come correct because I put in the work. And that's also going to your question before about going on stage and going to auditions. Yeah, I get nervous, but shit, this bachelor's and this master's, I didn't get it kissing air. I had to go through it.
Exactly.
I'm talking about when I was saying Ben Green, I'm talking about the stage of like a lawyer not getting nervous, but a lawyer with something small, like you'll say, oh, this case paperwork. Oh, you'll file this paperwork on the 7th day. But then boom, you go to work and then you realize, boom, oh no, you don't file this on the 7th day. You got to file this the next day. Because in the business, you see how it should go, you got to file it the next day because you're not going to get it by the 5th. It's something you'll learn like, oh, so then you get it to business and you file it on the 7th day and then you'll be late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm talking about small things like that be like, oh shoot, the business, they ain't work different from school. Shit. You ever had anything like moment like that? That's the moments I hate. I hate to have.
Oh, okay. Yes, I have, but I'll tell you this again. When you're in high school, right? You're doing a wider range of things. But I went to school for what I was interested in. So whatever it came with, I was like, okay, well, I'm gaining this information. But our faculty told us like, there is the learning, but you still got to get out there.
Yeah.
Right? You could do your conditioning with football and sports, but you still got to get out there. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, yes, there were things being in the professional world that definitely was like, oh, I didn't learn that in school, but like school never said that I was going to learn everything.
Exactly.
You know, I gained what I gained so that I could go out there. And so, right, because I would rather, me personally, in the path that I've been on, I'd rather go out there and have had these terminologies and had this experience, because there's also that. You get better with acting as you continue to live life, and you get this experience and this training. So it was that got me out there, so that when, especially grad school, so that when a director threw something or when something came about and I was like, oh, school didn't really teach me that, school put, especially grad school for acting for me and for many folks is like boot camp for actors. We were put through so much so that by the time, and we learned so much so that by the time we went out there, no matter if it's something our school taught us or not, we knew how to go figure it out. Because that is what we learned, right? Nobody can teach you how to act. No one can teach you how to act.
That's that bullshit now. I feel like that's why I didn't go to school for this shit. You know say, no one can teach you how to act.
They can't.
But I went to school.
Because listen, if I was teaching you acting,
You said nobody can teach you how to mix.
but
it.
listen,
Nobody can teach you.
but
to
listen,
I'm going to school.
the fact of the matter of it is that I'm not God. I didn't give you that acting talent. I can teach you how to take the tools that you got, or I can give you more tools in that bag, in that tool bag. That is what the school is. Can't no professor teach me how to do this. They can teach me how to get better.
Yeah.
Because they have more experience and they got these acting books and this experience that they've had, and they get to share that with me, and then it puts things into perspective.
It basically just cut your sword better.
But you know what?
Yeah,
Because so like,
your sword.
yeah, so like they can't teach me because I am the actor. Like I have the gift, but they can teach me. Okay, but like, you usually only use these 3 tools in your tool bag. What about all the rest of this? Well, I didn't know I could use the rest of that. Well, here you go. Let's put some more tools in that bag. So I don't even think it's necessarily them teaching you how to act, but they can teach you the lingo of acting. They can teach you how to do contracts. They can teach you those things. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said, yeah, like they can't teach you how to act. But do I believe you need training? No matter what. Because though I've already gone to school for this, I am still going to get acting coaching. I am still going to go to acting classes because I want to stay sharp. You think about people like, you know, Angela Bassett, right? The Queen Ramonda, the queen of in Black Panther. She played Tina Turner in What's Love Got to Do with It? Amazing actress. Angela Bassett is one of the best to do it. Her and her husband, Courtney B. Vance, who is also an amazing actor, they still get acting training to this day. And these people got Oscar nominations. They got Emmy wins. They got Golden Globe wins. But they still on it. Just like the greats, like the Beyoncés of the world. She still gets vocal training because I got to still stay on it. So regardless of if you went to school for it or not, I still believe training is necessary because you do need the experience, and experience can get you so much. But there is also like, hey, but you've got the experience that you got, but now this big time production company gives you all this money. There is something about this training that you can get, this extra light. And again, you don't have to go to a place that you don't feel like you're going to grow. Right? Like I went to schools that I was like, these are good schools. I'm going to gain something that will take me into where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. I got you. But yes, okay. The short film.
Yeah, short film, please.
Yes, so the short film, again, it is called What Are We? Are We Going to Be? We Are. And how
are we going to be? We
yes.
are. I love it.
It's like 2 questions and then I guess
who came up with that?
Me.
That's lovely.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, so it started with, as I was talking about earlier, this is a story about a queer couple and an interracial couple and what they're going through, and it's not even necessarily it's not so steeped into the stereotypes, right? Though stereotypes are true, it's not steeped into it. You're really just seeing what's going on between this couple and what's happening. How it came about. I'm going to go back to last year when I was in LA and I was visiting a place called the Men's Health Foundation in LA, which is, how do I explain this? It's a place that queer people and queer youth from about like, could be young as 14 to as old as 28, maybe to 29, who they have this foundation in this place where they can get free testing, they can get free insurance, they can get free housing, they can wash their clothes there, as well as they have programs so that we can learn things because, hey, straight folks, y'all had sex ed. We did.
Honestly.
No. Nobody taught me anything about gay sex because it was so taboo and all these things. So this place gave us a spot to be able to be ourselves, to be able to be with other Black and brown queer men, as well as to be able to learn things about ourselves. So there was this thing called the BET group. And I forget what the initials stand for, but basically we would all meet every week and just talk about different things that we're going through in life, different things of like no one else in your family can relate to you of you being the only gay one, the only queer one. So here is a space where you can be around other folks where you don't feel alone, where you don't feel like you're by yourself. And it was the first time, like there were groups like this in my undergrad and grad school, but I went to a predominantly white institution for undergrad, so mostly white people went there. And I went to a predominantly Asian institution in grad school, so mostly only Asian people went there. So these groups that they would have that was sort of like this group, it wasn't mainly Black people or brown people.
Yeah.
So they couldn't really understand where we were coming from. Maybe they could from a queer point of view, maybe, but not really from a Black and brown queer point of view, because they just can't, right?
Exactly.
Unless they do the research themselves.
Crazy ass question. So
What's the question?
You in the LGBT community?
I am.
Hey, look, nigga, how the fuck are you a goddamn pastor and a goddamn queer dude? Make it make sense.
Well,
Explain it.
My ministry.
Explain it from your perspective.
I got you. My ministry.
You know, from the outside for the podcast.
Yeah.
It'd be like confused and be like, what?
I know people gonna be, and I don't expect. My job is not for you to understand me. My job doesn't require. I don't need to get my worth from somebody understanding me. I understand myself. I've worked very hard to get to here, and I have a personal relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
I got a relationship with God. I talks to him like I talk to you right now. I talk to shit with God. I do it all. I talks to him. And it's that relationship and that journey. God is not man. God is not woman. God is spirit. When I die, I'm not a man. I'm spirit. I'm a spirit. So let's start there, right? I'm a spirit who is praising and following the Holy Spirit, the most Holy Spirit. So the whole journey of what we put on of gender and race and sexuality, I feel in my journey with God, God's like, you are my child.
We don't give a fuck about that shit. I don't give a fuck about that shit. Oh, okay.
Because why do we care so much about it? Because it's societal, it's social.
Yeah.
But God is above all of that. God says, my ways are, I'm higher above, thus my ways are higher.
Hell yeah.
So God is like, I don't think about it how y'all think about it.
Oh yeah.
And for God, I feel like most of the time it's with being a minister, and I was just saying this earlier, it has
Never thought of this, but hey, look,
Yeah.
I promote this nigga to my fucking heart out because you gotta understand, it's so many gay dudes out here and some shit like that. They'll go, they kill themselves because God don't like just.
That's right, man.
I done seen so many shits, movies, fucking real life shit.
Yeah.
Gay dudes, they'll kill themselves because they think God don't fuck.
It's real.
So yeah, hey, I believe in this game.
It's real. It's real. But look, and I'm gonna tell you this, brother. It's real, and the thing is they get that from who? Did God come down and say, I don't like you? Who said it? A man, a human, a person. We project onto God what people did to us. Mm-hmm. So we go, oh, well, that was how my dad treated me. So God, you're my holy father. You must be the same. But that's not the case. On my journey with God, God has shown me, and that's what I was saying earlier with my ministry, I am the vessel, but I am not the light. God is the light. Mm-hmm. So whatever I do, it is humility for him. So it don't matter queer or whatnot. Honestly, because yes, people hear, oh, you black, you queer, and you're a minister. Like, how is that? Like, what is that? But here's where things come into even deeper fruition, is that I'm comfortable in who I am. And the more and more that I go to who I am actually is the more and more that I realize God made me exactly this way. And I was saying earlier, God don't bless you for who you pretend to be, but for who you are. Yeah. And so if you're out here trying to be straight when you're not that, but you're going to God like, oh yeah, God, I'm praying for my wife. God like, I know you. I made you.
Yeah, you're not praying for
What
her.
are you doing?
You're praying for
What are we doing? No, instead, you're every night crying to me. And that's what came about with me. And that's what was so hard. And I'm going to go into that real quick. When I heard God for the first time and heard him. I mean, hey, look, we are a bunch of young men up here, and of course going through puberty and the testosterone of everything. You learn sexual things and you feel these feelings. And about to get deep, y'all. Mm-hmm. I would always be so frustrated with God. I honestly, the first play I saw was called Tell Hell I Ain't Coming Back. It was a play in the church about these people who did bad things and went to hell. Mm-hmm. And what their stories were. And it was like teaching us, don't be like this. And you see a murderer, you see a cheater, you see all these horrible, horrific things. And then there's this gay person. And I remember being young, being like, oh, okay. And that's me learning from society that that's bad. That's not, don't do that. God doesn't, okay, cool. So then I started to feel these feelings. I knew when I was 5 years old that I liked guys. I started, just like most other people knew you liked women.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to get confused because I said, okay, God, you're the end all be all. You are the Almighty. Hold on. I think it may. We're going to get into it, brother.
For y'all Christian folks, he said it's the first time he heard God. It's a big moment for Christians. You know, this is going to be a deep story. I was going to say it before. That was my prayer.
Yes.
It's going to be deep.
It is. It is.
You should know. The first time nigga heard God, it's going to get deep.
Okay. So you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get it.
So yeah, so just talking about how being young, trying to and seeing that play and trying to understand these desires, and straight or not, right? When you're a kid and you're a teenager and you're getting these feelings that you don't understand, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's because nobody really can, and like pops or moms or uncles or whoever can spit game to you, but no one can go inside your body and be like, oh, this is what you're feeling, right?
Yes.
It's hard to deal with those things. But when I saw that play and saw and really understood the power and mighty hand of God, I was like, well, I don't want to go to hell. Okay, well then let's pray. Man, years. Again, I knew when I was 5. Saw that play probably around 11. I knew, and I couldn't help it. But then when I found out that I might go to hell, I said, well, okay, let's start to pray. So I prayed all the time. Would watch porn, would finish. As most of us do, we get that post-nut clarity. We were like, oh, shit, God forgive me. Oh, Lord, right? Can we be real?
Let's be
right?
real.
And I would be like, God, okay, God, I'm sorry. Okay, God, just take away the gay. Take it away. Take it away. And I prayed, 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 and I prayed. I continued to pray, and nothing. It wouldn't go away. So I'm just thinking, okay, well, you need to pray harder. You need to beat yourself up. You can't be this. You need to let this go. Let this go. I said, God, okay, help. Nothing. Going throughout life, I'm like around 17, 18. And I was fed up. I was fed up with God. And I said, okay, wait a minute. Mind you, 17, 18. At this point, I'm already a minister. Mm-hmm. So when I became a minister, I was like, well, God, you let me be a minister. And you know me. No. So how'd you let me be a minister? And I thought that if I was gay and I came into church that I would burn in flames. But that hasn't happened. So what? So who's lying? Because somebody's lying. Mm-hmm. And I even knew that, like I said earlier, I was very observative as a kid. Like I observed everything. So I also was like, now how is it that y'all saying gay people is bad, but the Bible also say things about wearing clothes that we're wearing, and y'all doing that. And the Bible also says things about cursing, but y'all calling each other bitches, shit, all these things. So so who's lying? Mm-hmm. And why the hell am I listening to you if you're not even living by the Bible? Mm. And it's not like I'm out here trying to kill people. I want to love. Let me just pause right now. So many people got so many things to say about the queer community, but do you ever see a gay person go out and beat up a straight person for being straight? No. What do gay people say all the time? Love is love. Where is the hate? Where is the hate? Mm-hmm. Now I'm attacked back in. I was fed up with God. And I said, God, I don't understand you, man. I am devoting my time to you on purpose because I love you. And I realize how much of an honor it is to not only be a son of yours, a child of yours, but to also be a minister of yours. Mm-hmm. So I'm fed up, God. How is it that you can send floods, tornadoes, earthquakes, you shift tectonic plates. You can take away cancer. You can take away all these things, but you can't take away this? I was like, God, I hear all these people saying this thing. And it was at that moment, God's voice, it ain't big and loud. We think it is. I heard God say in the most softest voice, quiet, like right here within me. I didn't say that. People did. And everything was like, I had never heard a voice like that within me. Within me, it was chaos. It was loud. I thought God was, you. No, that was my daddy. That was my uncles. That was the men and people in my life that made me, that only is going based off of what they know and trying to protect me by being like, you can't be that. You can't be feminine. You can't be, and not even femininity has nothing to do with gayness. Hello, Prince, right? So it's like, once I...
Hey, is Prince gay?
No.
Prince gay?
No. And look, even if he was, it's none of our business. The man made music. We loved his music. But it was,
He fucked a lot
you
of
know.
bitches. Oh, no, I'm with Prince. He don't matter. Yeah, I'm Prince. It don't matter.
But also he
He
probably,
fucking your bitch.
yeah, but
Stop
look.
it.
Who knew who he was with? But that's also the thing. We as a community and as a people, we be so into people's bedrooms. Like, I'm gay as hell, and I don't be in straight people bedrooms. I don't be asking, I don't give a damn. Did you eat today? Are you okay? I don't care about who you fuck. What is this?
He said
Like,
niggas ask who you fuck for, what you eat.
but like, for real though, right? Like as a gay person, I'm like, I don't like. I hear straight people talk way more about gay people than gay people do. Straight people act gayer than gay people, and I'm like, well, what the hell is this? But anyway, I heard that silent voice, and I had never heard a voice like that before. And it was at that moment that everything changed, and I was like, oh, okay. And throughout life that I've gotten closer to God, I realized when God chooses you, he sets you apart. You're othered, just like Jesus. You're othered. You ain't within this. You're othered. God gets you like that so that he can craft you, because you were chosen. I realized I'm chosen, gay or not, black or not, I'm chosen. And that's not me saying that as, ooh, look at me. That is a duty. That is a responsibility. Me being chosen, I'm out here to find the other chosens and also to tell people that you can choose God. So within me being gay and being a minister, yes, it has been tough. It has been hard, but that has only been in the flesh. That has not been in the spirit. In the spirit, God has always seen me and loved me exactly for who I am. And I was telling him, when I did come out, that was when my acting got better. That was when my relationship with God got better, because I'm not going to God like, oh, I'm not going to God being like,
the chakras and stuff like that.
all 7 of them.
So yeah, it's like the throat is like,
Yes.
come out.
Yes, brother. The throat chakra cleared. It was clear. And I was finally like, oh, but this is me. It's like that moment when your family really sees you for you, and you're like, yeah, I don't gotta hide, straight or not, right?
Yeah.
I don't gotta hide. Like, this is me. Like, I'm not.
No, some parents, they still see you as, oh, you about 5, 10 years.
And that's what we was talking about. They always will, right? But that's none of my responsibility. I have to see me for who I am, because I go to bed with me. I wake up with me. I pay my bills. I live with me. And it got to a point around the time that I came out where I was like, I'm tired of living for everybody else. Y'all are going to go to bed happy, whatever the hell you're going through, but I'm going to bed not loving who I am and not loving who I love based off of what y'all saying. But I talk to God every day, and God told me that he don't care. So why do I care?
Only 2 more questions.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm like a black
Indeed.
nigga a little bit, to a degree. But then it's like, I hate this one thing. I feel like I look at history and everything. I'm a history nerd. I feel like they put like a lot of shit above like black shit right now, and I think that shit just like, I feel like that's an attack on us or some real shit.
What do you mean?
I think like it was like Sojourner Truth. She did this one fucking poem, bro, and it like kind of broke shit. Sojourner Truth.
It's okay. We know who you're talking about.
Fuck this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nah, it's like basically he said, "Oh, ain't I a woman? Is I not a woman?" Something like that. It was that poem, and then she said she put her womanhood before her blackness, and I was like, damn. I was like, and then I looked at the history, and I'm like, damn, that's when shit started to get fucked up, and then boom, and then this dude, they start putting gayness above the blackness and shit like that. So I wonder, when you say that you gay, do you believe your blackness? Are you a black man before you're a gay man, or a gay man for a black man?
I am a black gay man.
All right, so black before everything, because
Yes.
I hate that shit.
Because
like,
even
I honestly hate that shit.
because even in the, I mean, well, and what it sounded like, what you're getting to, and tell me if I'm wrong, is what I hear most people saying about the agenda, like the gay agenda, or right, like a lot of folks is like, oh, because they pushing this gay narrative. First of all, nobody's doing that shit. Nobody's pushing no gay narrative on you. We just trying to be ourselves. Because think back in the day when white people were like, they pushing this black narrative on us. Nigga, I'm trying to live.
Nigga, I'm trying to live.
Wait, no. Pause. Think about that. I'm just trying to live. This isn't about a narrative. This is me accepting who I am, and it makes you uncomfortable. It makes you uncomfortable, but I can't give a damn that me being who I am makes you uncomfortable because now I'm living my life for you, but y'all the same people saying pray to God, but you don't want me to live for God. You want me to live for you or your version of what you think God should be.
Yeah.
So no, so I don't. So yes, I do believe like even in the gay community, I am black. Like I am a black man. I'm going to be seen as a black man. This is something you can't show. And even if I did have the pride flag, I guess people could say, "Oh, I guess I can see it." Gayness doesn't have a sound. Gayness doesn't have a look.
Real life.
It does not have a look.
Real nigga shit.
But what I can say is
This the
this:
first gay dude on the
my
podcast?
blackness. Yeah, I am. Period.
Hell yeah.
But what I can say is my blackness is something that I cannot run away from, and nor do I want to. And when I was praying to God all the time about take away the gay, it felt like I was praying away my skin. It's something that is me. I can't pray something that is me away. It's me.
Second question. It was the what's your I'm gonna tell you mine on first. What's your version of like hell when they say hell in the Bible and shit like that? Because I don't know. This is my version.
Mhm.
I always read it and I was like, dang. And then I was like, but now I live life and everything, and I was like, these niggas ain't bad. And I was like everybody. I was like, and then boom, I look at the gay dude. I be like, this nigga ain't bad. And then I grew up around like murderers and robbers and everything. I'm like, yeah, he ain't bad. I was like, yeah, he killed somebody, but he ain't bad. I was like, yeah, he might have stole that, but he ain't bad. I was like, I'll be looking at that. I was like, dang. I was like, I ain't bad. And I know I ain't that fucking different. And then I'll be like, boom. And then me in my head, I was always thinking like when it said the Bible, and then this is my uncle. He was a minister. I asked this shit in private. He died now, but R.I.P.
May he rest in peace. Yes,
But my uncle Mikey, I asked him, I was like, hey, what's up with this hell? Why everybody say everybody going to hell? Shit like that. He's like, all right, look at this. And then he said, it's some verse. I don't know the verses. But then he's like, hey, look, so the Holy Spirit burns like a fire. And then boom, they said everybody going to burn. And then he said, but fire, people think fire is to burn. Fire can cleanse too.
Yes,
So I'm
indeed.
thinking,
That's God.
really, in my mind, I think when we all die, when I die, boom, I'm going to go somewhere. And then somebody be like, boom. Shoot, I think I would go. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go. All right, look.
You gonna have to get cleansed. I have to get cleansed.
But look, some people I think they go through it in life, but then boom, they gotta catch the Holy Spirit in the next life. And that fire, I think that fire is gonna cleanse. I don't think it's like, and it's gonna burn eternally inside of you. I think it's gonna be something like that. But I don't think it's gonna be something like, oh, we're just tortured. I think that version of you, that like that sinfulness, that's what I think. I think that murderous shit in you. I think when you go to hell, that murderous, you're gonna be sound. I think all that. That's what my mind. I think.
Right.
I think that gay shit. I think it'd be like, figured out, found out, sound out, something like that. I don't know what it is, but I feel like your spirit would be put to rest.
But that's the thing, brother. Sound. Like, and that right there.
What is your version of hell like? Burn. All
yeah.
Because you know that the Bible there say, oh, you gonna burn. You gonna. That's my my version.
But. Yeah, I want to go from what you just said with like and if you didn't mean it like this, let me know.
You know what the fuck you just said.
But listen. But if you didn't mean it like this, let me know. But to say, oh well, from what you're talking about the afterlife and this cleansing, that gayness would get figured out. There is no figuring out. Gayness is not bad. It's not a bad thing. This is and we got to remember this Bible was written by a men. And was translated from Hebrew to English by who? White men. Let's be clear that these are the same white people who said the Bible proved that we had tails. Right? So let's
y'all niggas stupid as fuck.
but you know what I mean? So like that's why I center my relationship with God above all else. Because my relationship with God, for me, allows me to read the Bible and to understand it between me and him. And that's the thing. So many people try to get in the relationship. Again, people are so fascinated with being in somebody else's bed, even if that bed is with God, the relationship with God. Get out of my relationship. If I'm not trying to kill you, if I'm not trying to hurt you, if I'm not trying to harm you, if I'm living my life, my relationship with God has nothing to do with you. Like, this is my relationship. Now to go, so gayness is not, I don't believe that there is no correction. This is who God brought me here to be, to show love, to show people how to love. in my own way. Now, as far as hell goes, honestly, brother, I don't think too much about it nowadays. I just think about how can I help people here.
You don't got like a version because everybody like they say.
I
so much
used
shit.
to,
I be like,
I used to, but nowadays that
when
I
niggas say
get,
that
you know,
shit to me, like that's a major turn off. They be like, "You gonna burn in hell?" I was like, "Nigga,
But-
you don't even read
and-
that shit."
but you got to
You just saying
understand,
some
brother. Somebody taught them that. You know, this thing with religion is crazy, man. Like people, it's people trying to be God, but are really just people, and telling people this is what it is. This is, but like no, because I have my relationship with God. I know my personal, and it's nothing that I need to prove. It's something that just is.
Just is.
Right? So just with that relationship with God, I focus more on that than I do hell. Hell is if you ask me, we in hell right now.
Real life. Real life.
To me, that'd be some shit though. That'd be some shit.
But
though.
who knows, right? Who knows? Who knows? Nobody's been there. And if you have, get the hell away from me. Pun intended. Right? Like please, right? But like, you know what I'm saying? But yes, I know that didn't answer your question or did, but like,
It doesn't.
you know what I mean? Like I don't think about that in that way.
I got you.
It's from all of that because that's trauma. And
Niggas
going
hate me
back
when I
to,
say that shit.
you know,
I be like, yeah, I don't think about that. Like, but then I be like, they be like, what this shit? I be like, yeah.
and
I don't think about
again,
that shit. I be
that's
like,
not your responsibility to prove yourself to them.
hell yeah.
Right? Like that's not your responsibility is to be you, be the best you, and to send out love. That's what Jesus wanted us to do. Love the Father with all our heart, mind, body, and soul, and to love your neighbor as you love yourself. The disciples, we always talk about we got to go of the 10 commandments. What are the commandments? The disciples asked Jesus, well, okay, there's all these commandments. What's the most important commandment? Jesus said the top 2 commandments. This is New Testament, right? The top
said
2
that?
commandments. He said, number 1, love God with all your mind, soul, and heart, and to love your neighbor as you love yourself.
That's some human shit. Oh yeah, these are 10 things I want you to do. All right, but which one is the most important?
But like,
That's some human shit.
but like, think about that though. But that's how the relationship is with God,
you
though.
gotta do 10 things.
We
All right, what's
human.
the most important, my nigga?
Yes.
That's some
But like,
fucking
think
human-
about that, brother. Isn't that real? That's real
That's some
life.
real nigga shit.
Because you're like, okay, because why? Because things were conflicting. These commandments that was in Moses' love, but like, what's true? Because the people in the church are the people who are the most corrupt at times. So like, what's true? So like, yes, I'm going to go to Jesus and say, and that's the questions. We got questions. So we go to God and be like, okay, but why is this? So what do you really want me to do? And that was his answer. But people like to say that they talk about Jesus and that they follow Jesus, but that's what he said. Love the Father with all your heart, mind, soul, and to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And who says love is love? Hello, queer people. So like, where is the bad at? He talking about this gingerbread house. But yes,
Honestly.
but going back to the short film. So I was in this group of these Black and brown queer men who were getting together talking about life experiences. And there was one portion of it, and mind you, right, this is a rare group to be in. I had never been in a group like this ever in my life. And so as I'm in this group, I'm realizing like, there are some stories being told here, and me being a writer and being an artist, I'm like, I want to tell those stories that are going to speak to people.
Yes.
So I remember somebody was doing a presentation, and in the presentation, they were talking about a specific interracial relationship they were in and the different things that they went through that people wouldn't necessarily support because they're queer. So they don't know who to talk about their relationship issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that and I said, oh, I have to write something. I gotta write about that. I gotta write about that. And I want to write something that will speak to them so that at least even that group of men, that group of people could see this film and go, oh, that's me. I know what that's like. I know what that's like because theater is so important. It heals. I have done shows before. Again, toast up to God, not tooting my horn, but giving it to God, and I am the vessel. I have seen people go to shows that I've been in and walk out crying. Grown men, young men, grown women, young women, changed. Being like, that play just saved my life. Let me tell you something. This is not a game, man.
Seeing somebody cry because of your work.
Come on. Because of me playing pretend on stage?
Wow.
Playing make-believe, and that changed your life? Get out of here. Get out of here.
This stuff do
I can say more about that than some corrupt ministers and bishops out here. That is the work. That's what Jesus was doing. Mind you, Jesus wasn't in the church. He was out in the streets. He was with the people.
With them hoes, nigga. That's why we gotta go with them hoes. Nigga, as soon as that check come, then we go with them
The
hoes.
male ones and the female ones. Hey, but you know what I'm saying though?
Be like Jesus did. We gotta go with the hoes.
Now, he did not say all that. Now, he did not. Now, he didn't say all that, brother.
Mary, you got fucked behind that mountain.
That
wasn't in the Bible. Hey,
behind the mountain.
behind the mountain.
Now, hold on. Now, who told you this?
It was Jesus behind that mountain. Jesus and Mary was behind that mountain.
Jesus?
Yeah, bring her over around that mountain.
You read this in the Bible? Which Bible they talk about?
Not the Bible.
See,
it's a book that they took out the Bible.
Okay. Fact of the matter of it is, fact of the matter of it is that I was in this group in which, we were having these experiences, and I wanted to write something because I know that the talent and the art that I do can be life-changing. So everything that I do, as far as whether I'm doing a script that somebody else wrote or I'm doing something that is mine, it is always of that ministerhood. It is a spiritual practice. I have a responsibility to tell this story so that somebody can laugh. Maybe somebody just had a funeral and they needed that laugh. Maybe somebody just got out of a breakup and they need to watch something where they get to emote. Maybe somebody is grieving somebody and they need to watch something sad. Like, we'll listen to sad music to get through something, or listen to happy music to get out of something or into a happy mood, right? So I wrote this, and Kyle, who is my co-star and co-producer in this and plays my partner in the movie, I had met him on an app. All my queers out there, we had met on a certain dating app, but yeah, Grindr. And child, we met on there, and I'll tell you true, man. And people can believe whatever the hell they go believe, but we didn't. It didn't get to a place of sexual. We were talking, and of course we were flirting. When you see Kyle's fine. I'm fine. Come on, fine and fine. That's what happens, right? But we were talking, and we got Instagrams, and I found out that he was an actor. And so I was like, and at that time I was like, well, okay, I'm in this queer therapy group, and I'm talking to this queer person who is an actor, and I wanted to do something that was about queer people, that both of the people who were acting in it were queer. I was like that just was important to me at that time. And so talking to Kyle at that time, I was just like, now that I see that he's an actor, all of the sexual thing, there's nothing wrong with it all left. And I was like, we get to make something. We get to, and so then I wrote this, and I'll show it to them. I don't want to spoil it, but there is a certain section in the movie where, let's just say, one of the boyfriends betrays the other one in a physical way. I'll say that. One of the boyfriends betrays the other one in a physical way, and that's what I saw first.
Okay.
I saw that, and then I kind of wrote the beginning and then made it through to the end.
Okay.
And this whole year we've been working on it and dissecting it, and yeah, it basically it's about a story about Marcus. I play Marcus, and Davey, who my friend Kyle plays, and they're having a hard time in their relationship. Like, we all know about that, right? Having a hard time in their relationship, and at this time on this night, they're having a dinner to just try to hey, we're going through a hard time. Let's have a dinner, and let's just try to find something spontaneous so that we can get out of this mood. But let's just say some secrets come out, and some secret motives come out, and it tests their bond. And we'll see if the couple makes it or not by the end of what these secrets and these secret motives come about. But the biggest thing that I wanted within this was for someone to watch it and to feel seen, especially a queer person, right? But anyone who would watch it to be like, I may not know that specific experience, but I know that experience. And I have, like I said earlier, I've had folks who identify as queer, LGBT, what have you, and identify as straight who have watched this film. Straight couples who have watched this film. And during the watching of it, they turn to each other and it's like, that's us. We do that. You just did that yesterday. I do that. Oh my. And that for me as a writer makes me so dang on happy. Huh? What?
What's the difference between straight couple shit and straight couple shit and gay couple shit? You think it's a difference or is it the same? Like same shit be happening, same bullshit, same whoop de whoop. You know what I mean? Same whoop de whoop, or not, and not just on some like predator types. None of that shit. Like, like you think it's the same whoop de whoop or a different whoop de whoop?
I believe we're all human.
Same whoop de whoops. All the same shit.
No.
Bitch, you just did that
not
shit.
That.
That was.
I believe we're all human. I believe we're all human. So I believe humans relate to humans, and there are times where there are times where, like for example, not every black person I see on TV I'm going to relate to, though I may be able to find some ways to relate to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like so it's, I think of it sort of in that context. Like, let's be clear, a queer relationship is a queer relationship, a straight relationship is a straight relationship. They both come with their things.
Yeah.
But what I'm coming from specifically in this is more so about what's happening between these two people. And I think Denzel said it, and I forgot who he got it, Denzel, as if I know him first. Denzel Washington, Mr. Washington.
The homie Denzel,
Right.
we coming for you.
But he said in an interview, he said, because I believe he was talking about the movie Fences and just about the fact of like, do you believe white people, like somebody asked him, do you believe a white person could have directed Fences? And what is it about Fences that you believe will be able to speak to the masses? And he was just talking about like, I believe the more and more that you create something that is specific is the more that it becomes universal.
Yeah.
Because I have watched stories based on white characters, but it was so specific that it was like, yes, I can't relate to, I'm a black man, you're a white man, but I know what it feels to grieve. I know what it feels like to lose a father. It don't matter who you are. If you lost a father, you know what it feels like to lose a father. You don't know what it feels like to lose my father. I don't know what it felt like to lose your father. I didn't know him. You didn't know mine, but we can relate in that way because of that specific thing. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that is the case here. And so that's kind of like my answer to that question. And it's interesting, but just from doing this movie, I have been able to see like, yes, this is about this queer couple, but look, this straight couple and these straight people or folks who don't identify as gay, they feel it as well. They're able to gain something from it as well. And that makes me happy because the goal all in all is for somebody to be changed better than when they came, for somebody to feel seen, for somebody to feel heard. You just don't know. Somebody feeling seen and heard can change a life, can save a life. I've seen it happen time and time again. You know, Moonlight is my favorite movie. It is my background on my phone right now. It's been that since I came out. I love Moonlight, the movie. And that was one of those movies.
What's my movie about Moonlight?
I'm going to say it is a coming of age story of a young kid who is finding himself on his journey with his identity, his sexuality, and within his community. I'll say that. And I know that all too well, being where I am, being who I am. And when I watched that movie, I watched the movie when I came out. When I came out, it was dark, right? I felt alone, and I really didn't feel like I could truly like be myself, and I was so confused with God and so confused with everything. But I saw Moonlight, and when I saw Moonlight, it was at that moment that I said, "Oh God, that's why you had me come out." because if Moonlight wasn't there, I don't think I'd be here. I really don't believe I would, because Moonlight showed me, look, all the strife and all the struggle and all the loss and all the loneliness, it's worth it because that is going to help somebody else live. That's going to help somebody else be like, look, I'm not alone. Because that's how it was for me. I was like, don't nobody understand me. And as black men, we know how dark that shit can get when nobody understands you, but everybody's projecting onto you. And you're like, well, can somebody just listen to me or see me? Like, that goes a long way.
Yes.
So when I watched Moonlight, I was like, oh, that's why I'm out. That's why I am who I am. Shout out to Barry Jenkins who directed it. Oh, hold on. But yeah.
I got this one question.
Yeah.
So you being LGBT leader, I think I see you LGBT leader. Yeah. I want to ask you this one thing. Since you in it, and plus you in the film industry, I gotta ask you this. You know niggas annoyed and tired of this shit. You know. Is it really what they call like a fucking not I don't know what the fuck that shit is. I think niggas that's on that type of time, that gay agenda shit, I look at them niggas low key gay. I ain't gonna hold you. But then look,
the ones who are saying there is a gay agenda,
like it's on some like hatred, like on some. I be really thinking,
yes, brother.
Me on some low key shit. I be looking like I don't never say it because I want to respect everybody. My grandma says she's like everybody they want to come out their own time. I be like, fuck it, I just let them do whatever the fuck they want to do.
I will say that a lot of the most homophobic people that I have ran into in the past, some of them
they seem a little like even when a nigga.
Some of them after time tells, they
come out.
But
so you an older nigga, so you done lived, you done seen it. Me, I think like I'm gonna get like 35. I think this nigga I think this nigga.
No, but
I be thinking because like if a nigga ever do some shit like he be on some whole shit, be like on some like oh no, you gotta be a man, or like even Picasso said some weird shit. Picasso did a couple weird things. I'm dead serious. He said some shit like, oh no, I want to change the shop colors to some more masculine colors, some more masculine colors, and I was like, it's weird. And I was like, and he's like. Oh, it's like I'm like some more masculine color, some man shit, I don't know, but and I was like, weird. And then nigga, he said some other shit. He's like, oh, like I'm confident in me. Like I always feel like I'm be myself and then do what I do. You know what I mean? So then he's like, he's taking a picture, and one dude he was taller and buffer and everything. He's like, nah, I want to be. He too tall. And he's like, nah, like don't make me look too short. And I was like, nah, nigga.
You be who you be.
Yeah, you be who you be. Like I'm more like that. We let our nuts hang. Niggas that don't let their nuts hang, I be looking at them little. What you hiding for? Like what don't you want people to know or be? Like you don't want them to think.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't even engage in those conversations.
Exactly. Like I just say. Yeah, that's me. I be looking at that shit weird.
Yeah, because but like.
But this the whole thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
The whole thing was goddamn. It was the gay stuff in the movies and the TV shows. Me and my bro, we laughed at that shit. He's like, yeah, because they got to put a gay dude in there somewhere. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Like, I feel like right now it's just like
well, think about
they ain't got nothing to do.
To the black and white, right? They got to put a black person in there. How was the white?
You think it's like that?
How were the white people back then looking at black people on film?
You think it's like that?
It was, brother.
I'm talking about now.
No, I do believe people make that assumption, which I don't believe is wise. But I also believe the same folks who make that assumption are the same folks who forget that back in the day when black people started to not only play slaves and maids, white people were like, oh, they got to put a black person in there. So use that same logic.
Dude, that should be getting.
So, but like, listen to that, right? Use that same logic. Oh, they got to put a gay person in there. What? Gay people exist. Think about that back when black people wanted to be seen. And wanted to be seen more than a maid or a slave or a servant or the help, right? There had to come about a time where we were like, no, well, forget what, whatever racist person or whatever says. We want to be seen because we deserve to be seen. We deserve to be seen and we deserve to be heard, So that's what I would say to that. Like, whoever is thinking that way, I would just challenge them to be like, really think about that. And if they're black, again, it is not my job to, and I'm not here to prove anything, but I would implore them to be like, think back to when black people wanted to be seen on screen, and think about a white person always getting annoyed seeing them on screen.
Yeah.
Like, how did that feel to us? It sucked because it's like, no, I'm more than a slave or a servant. Like, I want to be seen. I can do more movie roles than that. Like, what?
Okay. Then you got to get annoyed.
And also,
You know, you be the same type of characters.
Because also, black people are in this world. We exist. So, when you got a group of people who don't want you to exist, they're going to get tired of seeing you places. Because they're like, well, why are they everywhere? Why is there a black man in the president office? Why are they everywhere? But did we feel like, why are we everywhere when we started to see us? We felt like, yes, we finally get seen. We finally get to like take up space. Me being in queer people and seeing queer roles in different movies and whatnot, and you seeing it more and more, it ain't no agenda. It is showing what's in the world. If you want to say that, you can say, well, why are all these women here? There's some man somewhere who is sexist or misogynist. It's like, all these women are becoming these powerful people. We can't have it because you feel threatened, because you feel insecure. And my sexuality has nothing to do with your insecurity. Go to therapy, pray, get that together.
You ever think about this though? It's the motherfucking like it's the same roles or some shit like that. Like it's like the gay dude. It's like it's gonna be a girl. She gonna be powerful. She gonna be who gives a fuck. And it's gonna be the same nigga, same type of nigga. You being a gay dude, I don't know a lot of gay people. Is it the same nigga all the fucking time, or is that just like, oh yeah, that's normal?
What do you mean?
It's like, okay, it's like, all right, let's take back to black people. Boom, black people be in the movies. Boom. Boom, that'd be the same fucking gangster role, and it'd be like, okay, we are more than this.
Yes.
We just talked about that. We just talked about that.
We ain't that.
Yes.
You being a gay dude.
Yeah.
You look at the movies, you be like, okay, we is not just all around just some straight bitch.
Yes. Which is why. But listen.
Talking about her oh girl, he did what?
Yes.
They putting that same. That's the shit we annoyed.
Yes.
That's the only thing niggas annoyed.
Well, no.
We want to see a gay gangster nigga, a real life. That's real life.
Well, now wait. Hold on. Hold on. I'm go pause you there, because one, seeing someone else. Listen, because we chatting, right? So the fact of the matter of it is you saying, oh well, I want to see. Yes, there are gay gangsters out there, but to say I want to see a gay gangster means that I want you to meet me where we at. That's not my job. It's not my job. My job is to tell stories. And stories don't only look one way or another. And what you're asking is literally what the movie is about and why I made this film. I made this film because I was tired of the stereotypes of us always having to come out of the closet, of us always being the very shit. Yes, but let's talk about it because they exist. Gangsters and gangsters and hood, whatever, they exist, and their stories deserve to be told and deserve to be told well. But that is not the end all be all. We are not a monolith as black people. We are not a monolith as gay people. We are not a monolith as black gay people. We are not a monolith, period. There are so many stories out there. So yes, brother, I do. But from what you were just saying,
you say you mad? Are you mad at the how they putting the gay people in the movie and stuff like that?
Mad is an interesting word. I could say that I'm tired of it.
Yeah, okay, you tired. Okay, I'm not. Okay, gay dude, he just say he tired of it too.
Yeah,
I'm doing that shit.
But wait, because there is a difference from what you're saying, brother. You are coming from a point of view that I could relate with you with, of like, I want to see gay people and other things that is not just the typical stereotypes. But I do not believe that the people who are out there who are talking about seeing less of gay people want to see gay people in anything else. They don't want to see gay people, period. So I do not believe. But listen, but they are, right? So, and we're here for them, right? So that's what I'm saying. You are a straight person who thinks differently, but right? I love that though, because that's coming from a point of view of like, there is more to life with y'all. Like I want to see different examples and representation of gay people that is not just the typical things, but the people who are out here like, man, I see gay people and everything. That I do not believe that's what they're talking about. They are homophobic and they don't want to see gay people, period. They want gay people to stay playing the piano.
Nah.
They want gay people to stay teaching people in the choir. Hold on. They want gay people to stay teaching in the choir. They want gay people to be quiet. Just like men, a lot of men want women to be quiet. Just like a lot of white people want black people to be quiet. Just like a lot of oppressors want the oppressed to be quiet. So that's different. That's different.
Stop that shit.
No, I'll do it.
Everybody give a fuck about
Because it's real.
Obviously,
Yes,
you
it
give a fuck
is.
about it. Nobody's been acknowledging it but you, but go on.
Because it's real.
Real nigga shit. I'm gonna tell you this: being like more of a communicator, translator,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like as like I don't know. Fuck it, let's do this shit. A leader on the straight side,
Mhm.
being of more like them niggas just screaming.
But why do you feel like you have to lead on the straight side? Don't you have enough?
Cause no, them niggas they doing too much. Like they extra. I feel like it's like this. I feel like it's like this. You got niggas that say you a bitch ass nigga,
Mm.
and then it's a nigga that say you did X Y Z boom boom wop 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 wop, and that for that reason I do not like you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nigga that do that.
Yes.
I'm not the nigga that's going. I know how to communicate I'm a wordsmith. We know how to communicate.
But does that have to do with straight, or does that have to do with masculinity?
My brother, they say, oh, it's annoying. It make me mad. Boom. I know how to translate that to like, oh, I get what they saying.
Yes,
They basically
but I don't
saying-
think that comes from your straightness. I think that comes from the security that you have in yourself. That doesn't come from your straightness, because gay people can call each other bitch ass niggas, all that.
No, the bitch ass nigga, the part, they ain't nothing to do nothing. They ain't nothing. I'm saying translate. People that translate. These people that translate to mad, boom, I don't think, like, I think to get to more what they saying,
Mhm.
I think, personally, on some me to you type shit,
Yes.
to what the fuck they saying,
Mm-hmm.
is like, I really do believe what they saying is different roles. That's the only thing I think they saying. That's the only thing I think they saying.
I'm gonna agree to disagree. I think that you.
But you live longer. I'm gonna take it as OG. But
How old are you?
2-2.
I'm 27. I'm only 5 years younger. I'm 5 years older.
You got 3 more years. That shit old. Y'all niggas like.
Child, look.
Got 3 more-
But brother, you know, I love that we're having this conversation. But yes, brother, I really do agree to disagree on that topic, because I believe that you may be on that tip, and also I still don't believe that has anything to do with straightness.
Exactly. I agree.
That ain't got nothing to do with straightness. That's got everything to do with you being a translator.
Yeah. that's
Which
what I'm
is
saying.
which is a peace person, a middle person.
being a
But
translator-
anybody, straight, gay, what have you, can
Make
be
sure
a
all
peace
these people, they
person,
be
middle
like, "Boom,
person.
They hate us. I'll be like, oh, they don't want to see us. They don't want to see us. And me being a translator, I translate what they saying. They're not saying they don't want to see y'all. They saying like
I'll say
different shit. That's what I think.
words mean words. We know words matter to us, and like even just because somebody doesn't have the vocabulary to translate how they feel,
Yeah.
to themselves they mean what they say. So if someone says I'm mad, and like they think they are mad, even though they're not mad.
But they don't go wide.
But that
They
affects
don't
them.
go to
I'm saying that
ABCD.
affects the mindset. That affects the response. That affects the effect of this world. Their effect of this world.
But they don't go ABC.
Just because they can't translate it, I understand. You understand. But just because somebody can't translate what they mean, that doesn't mean the effect of what they mean is like null and void. You know, that doesn't
Yeah.
cancel out.
But I'm just saying ABCD. I know ABC. Y'all learn about XYZ. Nah, I look at, oh no, ABC. I'd be like, oh.
I think that's why you just continue to be the best person
say
that you can be.
I'd be like, nah, ABC. Y'all be like, hey, that's
So-
a bar, my nigga. That's a bar. Y'all say, I say ABCD.
Okay, so
Wait, what is ABCD? No, that's some cold ass shit.
write
I'm a
that
cold
shit
ass
down.
nigga.
Write that shit
I'm
down.
a cold ass.
Write it
Nigga,
down.
Jungle said it, you love it.
Write it down.
Nigga.
Not the point of this conversation.
Y'all be like,
So-
Brother, I think we getting off topic.
So
I don't know where you at. I don't know where you at on the street.
And you are so adamant about it. You're so
Yes.
adamant about it.
that's cold as shit.
But yeah, but just getting back to
The movie, the film.
you know, the short. So that is why I created it, to touch people and to talk to people. And right now we filmed it, and now we're in post production, and that is why, just like I said earlier, while we are raising that 5,000 so that we can make sure that
How's that 5,000 coming? Like, how do you guys raise
it's
that?
coming well, man. We just hit halfway of our goal. We have to make the 5, and we will make the 5,000 by January 23rd of next year.
Crazy.
And so we have just surpassed 2,500 as of yesterday. So God is good. So now we are just going, and the thing is about Kickstarter is that unlike GoFundMe or like these other crowdfunding campaign sites, Kickstarter is like, if you don't make this 5,000 by that date, anything that anybody donated will be sent back to them. So it kind of lights a fire under you to be like, no, we really got to get this. So that's what we're doing now. And we're just trying to make sure, like, the film is done in terms of like it, we have the cut that we believe that we're going to use for the film. Like we're done like taking things out and putting things in. Now it's just a matter of putting in the music score, making sure that the sound is good, making sure that the color guarding of like, you know, that everything is looking seamless and that the lighting and everything is good. And I believe, and also paying our director and our DP, who was also our editor, because he's been editing the mess out of this all year. And I just want to take a moment to just say, wherever this film goes, which if this film just touches one person and one person is affected, I am grateful. But whatever comes of this, just know that I am not here without God. I am not here without love. And I am especially not here without the team that has made this film be what it is. Kyle Christensen, my co-star and co-executive producer and the script editor. We like went hard on this in the sense that we made our own rehearsals. We made sure that we were gonna, you know, we like thought about it like, say we had the $1 million budget, all of that. What would you do? Well, regardless if I get the $1 million budget or not, I want to rehearse this. I want the movie to be the best that it can be. So we really worked on it. And there was a lot of times where life was hard. Life was lifing. And I wanted to give up and I wanted to be like, but it was something about having that team and then bringing Ryan on board, Ryan Murtha, the director. And he was like, okay, let's do this. And I just want to take a moment to say, I am nothing without God, love, and the team that I have. And I just want to take this moment to say thank you to Kyle, to Ryan, to Liz, to Tristan, to John, to Kyle James, who was doing the score, but especially Kyle Christensen and Ryan Murtha. They really kept me going in terms of like continuing to have production meetings and continuing to go the full way, because there were many times where life got hard and I was like, oh man, maybe this is not, maybe I need to take a break, or maybe I need to, you know, step away from this. And I think that I would have not gotten it finished if I didn't have, I know I would not have gotten here and gotten it finished if I did not have them. So just, you know, always take a moment to remember the people that helped me get to where I am, especially with the things that I do.
Most definitely. That's
you
beautiful.
know? But yes, the Kickstarter, we're going to share the Kickstarter. Please, and look, you may think, and we have, you know, different perks that you can get as well from just sharing, from just donating $1. We will tag you on social media and we will give you thanks. It goes from like $1, $25. You'll get a private link to the movie when it comes out, as well as you will get a thank you video, and it continues to go up. And yeah, just sharing. I tend to think, oh, well, what is sharing really going to do? Is it really going to help them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like is sharing really going to help this movie? But it does. Please share that Kickstarter. Donate what you can. You may think, oh, I don't have anything. Let me just share it. I don't know if that may do anything, but sharing and the things that people have been able to give, whether it's $1 to whatever amount, has helped our film get so far. And so please continue to share. I do believe what are we going to be? Is going to touch many people. And I believe that it's going to create questions. I believe that it's going to create healing, and that it's going to create a different understanding, not only for someone who you love, someone who you know, someone who you don't know, but someone who is different than you, but also yourself as well.
Make makes sense. You already got it done. What you need the bar for?
Well, that's for post production. Like, we want to make sure the sound is good. We want to make sure we get the music composition and the music score in there, and every shot, because we had you got different lighting. Every shot doesn't look like it's the same lighting. So that color guarding is going to make sure every single picture is like, it looks like the same movie all the way through in terms of that.
Professional shit.
And also festivals. You have to pay to get into or to even apply
that's some dope
for
shit.
festivals. Well, that's what we're going to do. So next year, after we're done with it, we're going to take some of that $5,000 after we've paid, our artists, because we want to pay our artists. We're going to take some of that to enter into festivals.
Look, so this is the realest shit ever. So look, a film festival or some shit, like we make a film today, we shoot that bitch, and then it's like a good networking event too. I think even if
yes,
we don't
indeed.
if we don't got a film either way, if we don't do all that paying stuff and pay to get our shit in there, but I think we them niggas anyway, and all we gotta do is say some niggas we work with, and like I think we're gonna be good regardless, my G. But like really, I think we should start popping out to them bitches more. Just like some low key shit, just between me and you.
Make that happen.
Yeah.
Pop out to the bitches, like
So-
we don't know any.
The timeline from beginning to end of like the beginning of writing. How,
Yes.
I want to know how long your writing did, but also the ending of like, okay, so you're done. Even just promoting. So you've shot it and you've promoted it and you've done all the post work. Like, what does that look like? Like, how long is that?
So I started to write it honestly this time last year. Like December of last year was when I told Kyle I'm going to write us something. And like how most people in the entertainment business, it's like, hey, once you come out to LA, I got you. But you go out there and not everybody keeps their word. So
Yeah.
Kyle, so Kyle was like, are you really gonna write a script? Okay, we'll see. But I did. I went to writing, and so I started writing it around December. I had a first draft, a rough draft, shall I say, around like January, February. No, around January. And at first, this was like, oh my gosh, it had to be about 30 pages.
Wow.
Like it was like pretty damn near like a large short film, short feature, or a one-act play. Like that's how long it was.
Yeah.
And so with film, it is, yes, it is about the words, but it's more so about the pictures in film and like what's going on and how much can you say without saying anything.
Yeah.
And
Stage
so,
direction.
you know what I'm saying?
Blocking.
Yes.
That
And
nature.
so we continue to cut it down because we're like, one, we got to film this. So that means that it's going to take time to film 30 pages and you're going to need multiple days. And in our mind, we're like, we're the ones who are funding this. We can really only film one day. So how can we cut this script down to be able to film it one day? And so that's what we went about. We continued to cut it. We worked on it with our director, Ryan. He continued to give us notes like, hey, what is the story that you're telling and how can we do that? Not just to cut it down, but people got short attention spans these days. Like
Exactly.
you don't want to lose people when they're watching something. So we continued to cut it so that we were like, okay, everything that is in there we feel like needs to be in there. But with being a writer, and I can kind of put on that hat now, that's what was kind of heartbreaking about this.
Yeah.
Because that this movie is my baby. Like it was God to me. It was birth, right?
Exactly.
And so to have to like cut down pages and cut down like monologues and different things, I was like, oh man. But I had this idea where I was like, God, I want this to be the best that it can be, and I want to push myself, right? This wasn't like an assignment from class or anything. This is something that I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to do this. And I would always talk about, I'm going to make my own short film, but I wouldn't ever really get to it.
Yeah.
So this was like kind of a way for me to be like, Brandon, let's actually finish something that we started, and let's actually get this. And look, yes, it's gonna be heartbreaking, but guess what? Steven Spielberg, Jordan Peele, all the rest of them, it'd be heartbreaking when they have to cut their films too.
Exactly.
They have to cut their films down. So I'm like, if that's where I see myself going, let me take this as just this is a part of the process. And so that really helped me to put things into perspective so that when we did have to cut things, yes, I was hurt, but I also, and that's what Kyle helped me with. Yes, I was hurt, but I also was like, I want this to be the best that it can be. So around like January, February is when we had the first like rough draft. Kyle and I were rehearsing it. And then when we met Ryan, and Ryan was like, okay, well, film festivals, especially short film festivals, they, usually around 9 minutes to like 15 minutes, 13 minutes is like usually like the time limit that people like to watch something or what have you. So then we continued to cut it from there. And then we got it to the place that we could get it where we felt like everything that was extra was taken out and everything that we needed was in. This was around now like March time. Now this is March. And then April, we were getting things together, getting our crew together, and we shot it in April 30th. And then from April 30th, pretty much until now, Kyle, Ryan, and I have gone through a series of production meetings where Ryan would go and, well, first Ryan edited everything that was raw footage together. And he's like, okay, here is our raw cut of the film. This was around like May, June. Here's a raw cut of the film. We watched it. Of course, an actor watching itself, you're like, okay, that's good. Ooh, cringe. Oh, But, that was one of the challenging things with this was juggling the hats. Yeah. Like taking off the actor, because actors are like, how do I look? Of course, right? You go be on the big screen, you want to know, do I look good? I had to take that off and put on the producer hat. Like my film needs to be the best that it can be. Yes. So it can't always be about appearance. I need to make sure this, when people watch it, I don't want to lose people for a second. So I would take that raw cut, and we would all, Ryan, Kyle, and I, we sent it to people we trusted. Mm-hmm. Those people watched it. They gave us critique. They gave us questions. Oh, well, what's this about? Da, 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 da. So we took that. We went. We gave Ryan some notes. He went. He made some cuts. And we did it again. And we've basically been doing these production meetings pretty much every 2 months until we got to a point where we were like, okay, we've cut it enough. I feel like this is like the last cut. I feel like we don't lose the audience. It's in the best like time limit that it needs to be. Now we have our final cut. Final cut is like when it's ready to go out. Exactly. But now we got our final cut that is ready for the final everything, the final score, all of that.
Let me be the first person in the industry to tell you this.
What's that?
You are overthinking, goddamn. You come over here to Dark Side, it's like Tyler Perry. We're gonna shoot that shit this week, coming out next week.
Well,
you telling him this nigga's acculated. He been in the game, master.
You see how
why you telling him? Shut up.
What?
Tyler Perry, they did that shit like in like 2 months, my nigga.
But again, brother, that goes to what we were talking about earlier, right? Like everybody has their different ways of how they go about it. You know what I'm saying?
You be in that shit.
Yeah, I do this.
Trust me, I know.
But also, let's give credit to Tyler. Tyler Perry also does this, and he's been in the business, and he has his way that he goes about his craft, and I have my way, and this is my way, right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I just want to tell you.
But well, yeah, and like better is like what it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
impact. See, everybody, it's a relationship. Like I see a little bit of you and him and you.
Yes,
he'll do a song or some shit like that, and it. Boy, I done seen you record the same song 4 times, bro. The beat done.
Yeah.
The beat is done. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't like that mix and master. Oh yeah, I didn't like that engine. He's like, oh no, I just want to cut the hook by just a word. And I was like, a word, nigga. We ain't dropped that song because of a word, nigga.
But that can be how important something can be to you, right?
Yeah.
Because you got to think about this. You can always have other chances to do other songs, but once that's out there, that's out there. So you do want to make sure that you are working on it because that's how you're going to be remembered. This is my first film that I'm producing. This is my legacy. Mm-hmm. So for me personally, how I want to go about my life, and I've looked at all the greats and all the directors that I respect, and I take something and I put it with my lens. And for me, I'm like, this is my legacy, something that I'm going to have out there forever. I want to make sure, however many times I need to, that I want. Now you can't always get that because with budget and with different studios, they wanted to come out during this time. We ain't got that. Mm-hmm. This is guerrilla style. This us. This indie. Mm-hmm. So if I have the choice to be able or the leisure to be able to, like, this is my first one. Yeah, let's take our time with this. Let's see what that may be. And let me tell you, it has made all the difference because, and this is me speaking personally, right? If I had in the beginning, if I had went with what I saw just based off of like, because there were versions that were earlier cuts that I was like, it's good enough.
Yeah.
It's good enough. I don't want good enough. I want the best that it can be. I want the best, you know.
Some real nigga shit. Can you this may be like personal, but can you email it to us after? Can you like email?
I'm
gonna send a little snippet.
Before and then after.
I'm going to show it to you.
Yeah,
right
I wanna
here.
See the before. I want to see like what you like revise and everything like that too.
Oh, that's gone.
That's going, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's gone. That's
Okay, so as we're wrapping up,
yes.
I want to get a monologue out of you.
Yes.
And I want to get this snippet. I want to put the whole thing on there just so they can see it like on the big screen on the screen.
Yes.
See it on.
I can give you I have a teaser trailer that we'll be able to show.
Beautiful.
And yes. And I just want to, before we get to the monologue and that, I want to take the moment to just give y'all flowers, and especially like my brother, like just like from seeing you when you was younger, man, to like now, like and I'll tell you this, and this is what makes me so happy. And this is he did, of course. If my cousin knew that I was I'm always gone. So if he knew I was gonna be here, I'm sure at some point he would be like, "Hey, you want to come on the show?"
Yeah.
But like, I wanted to be on his show, one, because I believe this is gonna be highly successful. That everything that y'all doing now are building blocks and steps to large things.
Let's go.
And you fit so well. It's like a puzzle piece. So when I said, "Oh, that's something." I want to be a part of that.
Let's go.
I like for real. I was like, I've been watching your YouTube videos, and I've seen like where you got different ones scheduled, and I'm ready to see them. One just dropped last night, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. So,
oh my goodness.
yeah, because
I
I have notifications set up. So this means a lot. I'm not just on here just to be like, hey, I'm on here to give support, and they are giving support as well, and that is the beauty of what Issa Rae calls working across. She says, so much of the time we want to work up. Like, come on, Steven Spielberg. Come on, Viola Davis. Come on. But like working across is like we all hungry. We all going forward.
Wanna know some real nigga shit?
What's that?
I love that. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I think that, to me, I think dick sucking, I think a lot of people retain dick sucking as just networking. But me, I think a lot of dick sucking is like, people try to do that. But when you work this way, it works so much better. I'm telling you. Like, I did some music videos. I was in the West Coast, right? I'm traveling, right? Greyhound bus, booming out, boom, camera, music video, boom, edit it up, boom. All right, you got the back end? Yeah, boom, give me the one, boom. Just getting it out the mud, everything, right? Boom, paying for the hotel, boom, go there, boom. I go in LA, it's a place called Stockton, or like California, Stockton, boom. I shoot a music video for this dude, EBK Dirk, boom. And then I go down, and then boom, I go east, wherever, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm in Vegas. There's another rapper. His name EBK Juvie Ju. I was like, all right, cool. He's like, boom. He's like, oh yeah. I was like, I'm trying to work with him. He got like 30,000 followers. I'm like, damn, I don't know if he gonna fuck with me or not. Boom. But then I call him. He's like, oh, you gotta talk to my manager. I was like, oh fuck. And I was like, boom. I call his manager. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, oh yeah, you work with my brother? He's like, oh, my brother. Oh, Dirk. And Dirk only got like 300 followers. So if I ain't work with Dirk, I feel like I wouldn't have worked with the big dude. I love when you work this way though.
Yeah.
And you don't look at that because that dick's like, oh yeah, oh no, I want to work with him. He here. Oh, this dude here. Oh, why we gonna work with him?
Yeah.
Oh no, but if you just work with everybody,
I
think like that works out the best.
Yes.
Boom. Oh yeah, T Grizzly. Oh yeah, that's my brother. Oh yeah,
because then y'all grow together. Because that's how this was. Because the composer for this film, I knew him in undergrad. And I knew that he was a jazz musician, and I'm like, and he has an album out. Kyle James has an album out called Datum, DATUM, and I listened to this, and I was like, oh yeah. Soon as I get a film, soon as I do something, I'm calling you. Just like Nicholas Bertelli did the score for Moonlight, or Hans Zimmer did the score for what was it, The Dark Knight. Like it's like. That's the type of what would you call it?
Vibe?
Not vibe, but like for example, career relationship, I guess. Because like as we go forward, next time y'all do a film, y'all know you can.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that.
I feel like it's always good to work this way. It's always good to work. I feel like everybody.
Because then y'all just go up, and then somebody. Because then like with me, somebody go on their own journey as we're all going together. Somebody gonna get there a little quicker on their journey. Exactly. And they gonna be like, oh,
that phone call gonna be easy.
You need somebody who knows how to do music? Oh, okay. Well, I done already worked with. Oh, you need somebody who acts? Oh, okay. Well, I know. And that's why I believe is also beautiful as well as you come up and you're humble together and you're hungry together. When you go up there, it's just, all right, you pull me up, I pull you up. You pull me up, I pull you up. And I'm just proud, man, because you are both of y'all.
Thank you.
I've just met you today, and I can see the specialness in you, and I hope you know how special you are.
Oh, you cry.
I'm serious. I'm serious.
That'd be a bit.
Dark side. Don't do that. But hey, I'm serious. I hope you know how special you are and how much there was a responsibility to the specialness in you that you have to other boys who was looking up to you. So just know that you're amazing and guys are looking up to you, and even guys older than you are looking up to you. You don't think they are, but they're looking up to you because of your spirit and who you are. So please know that with the beautiful spirit and the gifts that you got a responsibility, and you do too. I knew it seeing you when you were younger, just how special you were and how special you are now. And brother, let me tell you something. No matter what happens going forward, please know that that no one can take that away from you and that we need it. No matter how hard it gets, there's going to be times where you plateau or you think you're plateauing. There's going to be times where not everybody understands. Not everybody's going to be able to help, where you think, oh, what am I doing? Why did I even do this? Let this be a reminder that you are here for a reason and that you are doing this for a reason.
Hey, even just said nigga on the phone.
You are doing this for a reason.
Really
you know,
appreciate
just like, man, and don't ever forget that, because there's going to be people who will try you and who will try to make you feel like you're not what you are, and as strong as you are and as capable as you are. You are children of God, man. Yes. You are children of God. You are special. But does that make you uncomfortable seeing them?
Yeah, I thought you hurt. Like, you know, it's fucked up to see somebody like you love be hurt.
But think about that. Have you asked him, is he hurting? Or is he feeling seen? You see how important it is. It's important to feel seen.
I'm smart, but I'm very simplistic. I'm simplistic.
Hey, there is a such thing as duality. Both things can be. Both things can be, you know.
You trying to make this on camera, or what you trying to do with this?
Nah, we might do this off camera. I might put make Volley put some stuff on it. I might put it up the house, and then you could put like make Volley put some.
They're talking about the gingerbread house.
Yeah, it's a little gingerbread house. It exists. I like it. We might do it.
Not it exists. It exists. Yeah, no, but y'all, thank y'all so much for having me on, man.
What you got coming after your first one? After your first one, you got any dream
ideas?
ideas?
Because that's what you asked as well. So once we are done raising the money in January, we are going to pay the people who need to do what they do with the score and the sound and all of that. By February is when we want to start putting it out there for film festivals. And so from that, and we still got things to talk about on like a certain release date that we're going to have. And I think that's going to be really going off of the film festivals and who selects us and who invites us out. But just know that next year this movie will come out. And when it comes out, I hope you are excited to see it. And as far as things going forward, I will be doing theater next year. I can't say what just yet. But I will be doing theater next year, and yeah, and mostly because I'm always bring it back. When I came here today, these brothers saw me kneeling and praying, and I'm going to say this: that is something that I do to acknowledge God. God says, "Acknowledge me in all that you do." So I always make it a point to acknowledge God everywhere that I am and everywhere that I turn, especially when it is something that is a medium in media where this is going to affect people, because I don't want my own voice or my own things about myself to be the thing that is leading. I want God to speak through me, because I know that my story and the things that I talk about is going to touch somebody. So that's why I knelt, and that's why I was praying. And also next year, as far as what I'll be doing next, it'll be what God wants me to do.
Let me ask you,
Beautiful.
what the film gonna be at on the
It's gonna be online.
on streamers? Is it gonna be on streamers?
This film, look, if somebody picks it up,
Hey,
yeah.
I got
What?
I got that. Hey, I got that distributed. 80-20.
Oh, he got it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.